Oh man. One day
One of these days we'll get it, man.
One day it'll happen, just smooth as silk, man. We'll just cruise right in, and it'll be like nothing ever happened, man.
You know, I thought of being so sly. I saw the 30 seconds before live stream. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, I'm gonna hit live stream. I'm gonna hit that 30-second countdown. It's gonna be a blast. No, absolutely not how she went down there. My apologies, man. I'm sending you in the room. I'm taking you out of the room. I'm hopping in the room. I'm jumping out of the room. We're still waiting for TiddybeanToys. I'm going to make sure that we get them in there. We do definitely have a busy night this evening with Mint on card. You and I were chatting a little bit earlier this evening. We're going to kind of roll with the punches, homie. We're not entirely sure what the game plan is there, but I think we're going to see a lot of freaking cool toys, and that's all that really matters to me.
Dude, straight up, man. That was a super, super sick show. 8-Bit Mike, Bootleg Toy Co. Dre, what's up? Bliss, Super Terrible, Jazz Wizzy, Ocular, Caviar, Hobo Toys, Lynn's the Rat Boy. Here's something I didn't tell you. In October, I had just scheduled Dark Rainbow for a return visit because he's amazing. And then Lynn's the Rat Boy as well. And they chatted and would like to do the show together. So that's what we will do in October. That I think is going to be the Halloween show. Tuning in from Perth, Australia. What is up? Dark Rainbow, good morning. Your ears must be burning, my friend. We are talking about you currently with your appearance coming up end of October. And Lynn's the Rat Boy. That's going to be a hell of a show. Welcome from Australia. What is up? What's going on with you, dude? You ready for this or what?
Man, what a week, dude. I'll be honest. I don't know, man. We're flying in blind still, it seems. We were trying to get that giveaway all planned out this week, but there are a lot of folks that I've never actually seen popping into the chat before, which is actually really nice. Cube Boy Collectibles definitely being one of them. I don't know if you've even pulled up their work to discuss before in one of the tabby doos. And definitely Lynn's the Rat Boy, homie. I'm glad to see that they're kind of expanding out. It's funny to me how even somebody like Compton is big on them as well, man. Quite the follower on there. And a lot of Australians this evening. What about you, dude?
I didn't know that about Chompton.
Quite a follower, dude. That's what I find is actually really neat about Lynn's the Rat Boy. Is at the end of the day, I think most of us are kind of like those ragtaggy, kind of fuck the world anarchist type of punky artists, right? And Lynn's the Rat Boy seems to appeal to a large variety of the artistic crowd, man. There's a lot of people out there that really dig their style. It's good to see.
Yeah, I agree, dude. I mean, that whole thing with Lynn's and Bootleg Toy Co. I'm excited to talk to Lynn's just in general, man. But that's going to be a good one. Another, dude, how about the talent in Australia, right? Like, what are we talking about, man? I don't know of any other country that the bootleg scene, and maybe I'm way off and people can shun me till the end of time if you'd like, but Australia's got it going on, man. They got they got the store out there. The list of artists it's nonstop, man. It feels like it just keeps growing. I saw Squatch Breath in here. There's another one, man. Rec Shop Resin, not from Australia, but what's up, dude?
What's going on? When we pull the boys in, we'll definitely end up hearing a little bit more about it. But personally, man, what I find ends up happening is America does kind of make up a good portion of the market. Yeah. What I think is probably the dopest part about this, it's not even so much the, wow, look at the talent Australia has. It's more, wow, look at the art movement happening in Australia right now, where you actually have these individuals who have something like This Is Not a Toy Store. You've got the Dollhouse Gallery up above. You've got somebody like TiddybeanToys migrating these people over. You've got Weird Kid Club that is also then working with the other individuals from This Is Not a Toy Store. That those three ended up actually coming together and forming that. Like, I think it's more just that community that just is suddenly kind of expanding and building. That's the part that's really sick to me, man.
Yeah, I agree, dude. And you know what's, the cherry on top, I guess, would be is that we're all seeing it happen right in front of our eyes, right? Like within the last 4 years and going forward. It's a big deal, dude.
It's stretching off of Instagram. The other day I was at the pot shop and I had an older gentleman that was actually coming in. We got talking and I even just kind of said it. We've all said it a bajillion times. I was like, man, right now there's a bit of an artistic renaissance happening online. And right away he was like, that's it, man. And to see this old chap just like stop in their shoes and be like, that's what it is. You're right. And it's now bleeding out, right? Once COVID kind of stopped, all these people that had formed these new hobbies, interests, ideas, and businesses are now going out. They're now in that rest of the world. They've been doing it for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. It's a part of their jam now, man.
Yeah, dude, and I think overall, just looking at it from a buyer and a collector and a supporter from the outside, man, it's like you have a lot of people that jumped in around COVID time, and now people once they went back to work are trying to figure out how to kind of intermix the two. Some people are gone a little bit more. Some people are more present than before. So it just depends, man. End of the day, we're seeing some dope stuff come out of every country on the planet currently. Porpoise, Sir Collect a Lot. What's up, dude? But yeah, dude, I mean, it's really good to see. It is booming in Australia, that is for sure. The two lads we have on tonight, holy smokes, man. You talk about talent right there.
I was going to say, do we pull those gents in and have them tell us about the scene in Australia rather than us pretending that we know shit all about the scene in Australia?
So what you're saying is, to get the vibe of Australia, we should talk to Australians instead of somebody in California and someone in Toronto. That's a decent idea, dude. That is not the worst idea you've had.
Every now and then. Well, if you two gents are good, we're going to fire you on into the stage here. Sick. Boom. Boom. Look at that. Two new beautiful faces.
Dude, you know what? I would say this is a historic moment because I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe this on the new format. I think this is the first time we've had more than 3 people. So 4 people, and the layout looks nice. Gentlemen, what is up?
What's going on? It looks awesome, man. Like I was just gonna say, this looks different, dude. Like, what's with the screen? But it's totally that it's first time having like 4 dudes.
Does it say Tiddy Bean CEO?
Yeah, I'm the CEO of TiddybeanToys. Who the fuck else is the CEO?
That's true. That is
also the chief operating officer, HR, and accounts as well.
I don't know how I feel about Tiddy being head of HR. I think a lot's gonna slide through in that regard.
There was way too many complaints, so I had to put in HR. Lots of sexual harassment going on around here, so
understandable. Yeah. AJ, I don't know why you had to file all those against Sam, but I'm glad that you did. He needs to be wrangled in, man. What is up with you, my friend?
Can I change mine to CEO as well?
Absolutely, sure.
Cool. It's good to see you guys. How you been?
Good to see you, man. Tell us about this show, dude. There has been some. I mean, so the show is it over now?
Yes, it's finished. It wrapped up last Thursday. Is that right?
Yeah, I think I started packing it down on maybe Saturday, so I've got an extra couple of days.
Yeah.
Nice. And how did that work at the store, man? Did you just have people coming through? Did you advertise locally, I'm sure, of what's going on?
Yeah, so we have the gallery that's located above the store. So they're basically the one entity. So anyone that comes in the store, we let them know there's a show upstairs. And, so most people that come through, if they've got time, they'll go upstairs and have a look at the show. And obviously, yeah, we have flyers up and, we have our opening night where the whole community comes out and, supports the opening and all that stuff.
Nice. Very cool. And how was the turnout in your opinion, man? It was probably great.
Do you remember, Sam?
Yeah, look, I was a little bit pissed. Like last year, I didn't really drink that much. This year, I was a bit more kind of comfortable and confident. And
a little bit looser, yeah.
Probably half cut by the time I got there. And then when I was doing that video run around, I kind of had that moment of like, fuck, I don't actually remember what I just said about every piece and that kind of thing. And I'm too scared to rewatch it. But I think it was pretty similar to last year. Like it's like freezing this time of the year in Melbourne. But this year was actually not too bad. I remember last year it was just cold as, and but this year it was really good. I think it was pretty similar sort of turnout. I think initially you kind of have these like crazy ideas. There's just going to be like 500 people there. And then, it's just like not really 500 people in Victoria that really care as much about niche toy stuff that we do. But it was really cool. I had like friends come down and stuff, my brother and his family. And so it was kind of nice. And my mum bought a toy. So that's pretty cute. Mum bought a toy. She couldn't make it. So she got my brother to buy a toy for her, which I've got right here. It's actually the one that everyone likes. And I'm kind of like, ooh, you picked a good one.
Ooh, that is a good one.
Boss.
See, I was kind of hoping that your mom wouldn't even buy one of yours. I was kind of hoping that you were going to say that your mom bought a toy, but what about she had seen something that she was like, I fucking need that. Make sure you come home with that. But you buy one of yours if you need to.
Yeah. No, she I think she initially wanted the bong turd figure by Ocular Caviar, but yeah, I sort of said, "No, Mum, boy, I wanted mine instead." She's like, "Oh, right."
God, Sam, you're so annoying.
Yo,
Oh man, Marty Rogers in the house. Famed. What's going on, man? Gray School Toys. Dude, let's just back up one. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. I'm sure there's other Australians I'm about to offend right now, but and the whole thing is kind of over with, right? We've missed it's it's been a thing now. The breakdancer in Australia, bro. What the hell was that? What was that? I still don't know if that was a joke or if that was real.
No, that's how we breakdance, man.
Yeah, that's our culture, man. How dare you?
I don't understand I don't understand what you're saying.
Fair enough. Well, it was interesting, and
it's horrible. Like it's weird. It's like it completely took over. Like it was funny at the beginning, then it was just kind of like, oh, wow. Then you sort of start to see how serious and ridiculous it kind of was. Then you actually watch the videos and you're like, fucking hell, like what is that shit? Like,
I think it was just weird. Like breakdancing's just a weird fit for the Olympics, right? Like
it is.
Like there's like a governing body for breakdancing in Australia, so they kind of just randomly this person ended up there. You know what I mean? Like you can imagine.
It's the cycle of memes, right? Like Hawk Tool, she's gone. Bring in the breakdancer, she's about gone. Now there's somebody else. Let's bring somebody else in. Keep it moving. Fletcher, what's up, dude? Speaking of Australia, Stormaco in the house. Recycle Galaxy.
To be fair, Hawk Tua just quoted Jay-Z thinking that song New York was Wet Dream Tomatoes. So I'm sure she's making a comeback as well. We will get more from her, yes.
But she just keeps memeing, just keeps leveling up the memes.
If you're super stupid. Yeah, if you're really dumb, apparently nowadays, just being super stupid can definitely just skyrocket you to famdom.
Bumming Droids has a great suggestion for the Olympics in LA, resin pouring. How about that? Judging pour volumes, judging bubbles, correct curing time. Let's do this. I agree, man. So how are we rolling this out tonight, man, as far as looking at the pieces, dude? How many pieces do we got? 40-ish? 30-ish?
Yeah.
It was a little bit, probably closer to maybe 50-ish. But because we had people send over multiples, I think like when I was tallying up, putting them in the spreadsheet, I think it was something crazy like 60 to 70 individual kind of pieces. And then once you sort of take away the multiples and just kind of like focus on, that it sort of went down to, I think it was maybe like 50. But yeah, there's definitely a few, like compared to when we set up the gallery this year, it was like you probably couldn't fit many more pieces in. If we had like a bunch of like late arrivals or something, we could definitely get them in there. But it kind of was what I had probably envisioned last year when I sort of saw the space and wanted it sort of set up. But yeah, it was just perfect. But yeah, I think when we kind of started unpacking all the pieces, or when we were hanging them, AJ was like, "Oh, I hope we've got enough hooks here because we've never hung this many pieces in the gallery before." Yeah. So that's a pretty cool little achievement to be like,
it was more than twice what we had last year. And because of the nature of the toys that we show, we do a lot of plinth gallery shows because they're sculptures. We do hang stuff on the walls, but we've never hung so many things on the wall as we did for this show. It was like the walls were covered.
I didn't even think about that, but then also when somebody's renting out that Brunswick gallery or the Dollhouse gallery, do they have to then actually do any of like the spackling afterwards? Like, how do you guys actually like repair all that after? Like, that's a lot of work.
So we have a hanging system that has a picture rail, and we have lines that hook in and come down, so you don't have to put anything in the walls.
Nice.
Tentacle. It's like somebody thought this out when they did it.
It's almost like someone like owns a gallery or something.
So let's jump ahead real quick, man. Just what are we looking like for next year, man? Is this going to be a yearly event for you, or is it too early to tell right now?
Yeah.
I'd be pretty keen.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we haven't discussed it, but yeah, for sure. If Sam wants to do it, then yeah.
Sweet. Absolutely. If the space is there, and I'll be keen to sort of do it again next year. There's always that point after the show happens. I'm kind of like, and probably during it, I'm like, fuck, I forgot to invite that person. I'll see like a sick piece from someone that maybe has dropped off for a bit, or you're so reliant on the Instagram algorithm to kind of keep you in the loop of like pieces and stuff, and then sometimes it's just too late. So I've already sort of started like making a little list of like, all right, who did I miss this year? Who's going to come in next year? Also gave us a really good idea of how much we can really fit in the gallery and how many artists we can kind of like ask. So I think this year there was, like I said before, there was probably more artists sending multiple pieces, which was really cool. But yeah, it gave us a really good idea of like, all right, how many can we actually sort of manage, and before it becomes like too stressful with cramming shit in and just having tons and tons of stock. But no, it's sick. Yeah, man, I'm super keen to do it again next year.
Sweet. Let's jump in, dude. How did you guys, what do you think we should do here, Crumsy? Should we go to the store and kind of flip through?
So we do have a couple of options, and you guys might actually know a little bit better actually yourselves, Weird Kid Club and Tiddy, because I don't know if you guys actually have seen some of the pieces or have some of the pieces there. We've gone through Instagram to try to, yeah, of course, Weird Kid Club's like, no, fuck no, man. Why the hell would I have that? Oh, okay, cool. But yeah, I figured we would either go through the website or we would go through the
Did
IG.
you do that did you do that to the screen?
No, I think you just did that, so I was just letting it roll.
How did I do that?
I was like, well, if he did it, that's cool, man. I'll keep it that way.
I was trying to say what's up to Kyle Kerwin, and it did that. So what's up, Kyle Kerwin?
Yeah.
I reckon jump in the store, and I've got a pretty good. I've actually probably still got the list in front of me on my computer. So ones that are sold won't be in the store, but I've got a kind of mental notes around who we could pick up.
So that's a couple of
them will be in the store. They just will be marked as sold out.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, cool.
Have a look, check it out. They should.
Okay. So I wasn't even sure about that as well. So I have popped into your store. I'm on the Mint on Card 2, and it's showing me the 42 results. And then I was not sure if some of the sold ones ended up popping out. I know I can't see LM9 on here, but I wasn't sure if LM9 ended up actually submitting a piece. Okay. Yeah. So that's what was a little tough as well, is admittedly seeing some on the Mint on Card list. I think somehow I was catching certain people, but then they didn't end up getting a piece in. And then I think, so if the website has them all, then I'm happy to pull up the website. It's even alphabetical.
There you go.
If you guys would like. I mean,
so once you do that, Crumbs, is that going to put us all on the side, or is it going to be full screen?
Let's play around. We'll find out.
Look at that. There you go. Look at this guy. Like he's done it before.
Nice.
Like a glove. Nice.
I figure we can click on a couple of these. I'll admit, I was excited to see Hence the Meat on here. Does anybody know, has Hence the Meat's Instagram been swapped up in the last couple of years? Because I noticed their following count does not match what I believed they were at.
They got hacked a couple of years ago, and it all kind of shut down and that sort of thing. So, and I think that like the hacked account still hung around for a while. So there was a period there where it was two accounts, and you had to be careful of like which one you actually kind of. But then I think the hacked one got removed. So, but yeah, he lost a shitload of like followers and stuff. He was on like 5,000 or something, and just got hacked and demolished. And then I think that was a pretty big hit to his whole thing. So. But yeah, I had to have him back. I love Hence to Meat because he collabed on the Colonial Marine Toxies that I did last year. So I was like, yep, dude. And I knew he just had a baby as well. So I was like, just, you don't have to make anything, just send what you've got in stock. So I know he's always got cool shit in stock. Like he'll just randomly pop up every couple of months. He'd be like, hey, I've got these toys. And you're like, holy shit, dude's been working.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think these are some of his sort of like older ones, but yeah, they're wild. And to be honest, when I was doing the descriptions for each like figure, I was really stretching my knowledge of some of these like things and some of these toys. And like he's big into his hip hop toy stuff. So it was that like, holy shit, I need to like research what the reference is for this like song. And like I love MF Doom and that sort of thing, but there's like he gets a little bit deeper, and I'm like, holy shit, I need to do some research here.
Yeah.
But no, they're awesome pieces. And he sent like, I think 4 or 5 of each of those. So,
wow.
Yeah, he sent a massive box of stuff.
Nice.
But, really cool. I think some of them might glow as well. It's a little bit hard to see in the picture, but that little bubble on top of the figure's like little MF Doom mask as well. Which is really cool.
Damn,
yeah, he's illustrating all those, and Yeah, it's fucking nuts, man.
Yeah. Nice. So you're right. And I've seen his work before in person at DesignerCon a couple of years ago. Fletch had a booth out there and had a bunch of his work. And it's really good shit, man. Like as far as the quality, and it's super, super clean. God, that sucks. His account got hacked, man. He's got really good t-shirts and shit on his website too. I don't know if he still does or not, but
yeah, I think he's still sort of doing probably sort of like that on-demand kind of stuff. But he wrote a children's book as well, which is really cool. So I think he's like right into the illustration stuff now, and I think it's called Words That Mingle. But yeah, he's got it's on Amazon and bookstores and stuff. So if anyone's got kids and they want some hens to meet bookies for little ones, check it out.
Oh. Basement Sludge. What was that you had just had up there, Crumsy?
Yeah, I'm racing ahead. I realize
you're good.
Sorry. But also, sorry, just because as we're talking about like the name changes and stuff like that, and hence to meet in the account, I want to bug. This is not a toy store / Weird Kid Club / Kayo Toy Co. Homie, the name switch, dude. How you finding that?
I mean, it had to happen. You can go and check out my socials to see the whole story. But yeah, like long story short, there's like another company here in Australia that has the name Kayo, and they have for quite a while, and it just was killing my visibility. So I had to switch it up.
Yeah, makes sense.
But when I was going through your posts, you've been using the Weird Kid Club as a hashtag for a while as well, though.
Yeah, for ages. Yeah, that's why it was kind of like an easy. Yeah, it was kind of like an easy path of least resistance.
Yeah,
path of least resistance. And then currently, just because I'm nosy, this is not a toy store. I also noticed that Underland Cosmic, they were mentioning on their page that they had actually like grabbed parts of the store. Are they a new person participating in the store? Like, what's going on with that one?
Yeah, so Underland Cosmic is taking over the management of the physical store starting in the end of October this year.
Nice.
Are you excited? A little overwhelmed?
Me? Am I excited?
Well, does it excite you at all?
Excited, man. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah. I mean, look. I love the store, and I'm so grateful, you know, to everyone that supported it this whole time. We've been around for 3 years now. It's great, but man, it really is a lot of work. Like, it's a lot of work. We've got like 60 artists in the store, running a full-time retail space as well as a gallery, doing all the production that we do with the toy company. You know, putting on the shows, running the workshops, all that stuff. So yeah, having someone come in and take over that retail space is going to be massive for us. Like, it really is. It means that we're going to be able to concentrate even more on focusing in on those other things like the production, the workshops, the shows, all that kind of stuff. And I'm not going to have to spend so much time like jockeying spreadsheets and like, you know, making sure everyone gets paid and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's going to be great.
I love it. I'm really glad to hear that, dude. And then, B, you're asking about Basement Sludge. Basement Sludge is from your neck of the wood, correct? Another Australian, kind of newer artist. I know nothing.
So Basement Sludge is a new artist for me as well, and I actually can't remember. I think they reached out, and I was like, "Yeah, cool, join the show." And because Mint on Card and the E2K Kaiju show basically happened on the same day, but because of the time difference, it was sort of. I think Dustin was doing the walkthrough of the Kaiju show as I was getting ready, I think, to come into Mint on Card. And I just happened to sort of tap in at the moment, and he was showing off Basement Sludge's piece for the Kaiju show. And I was like, fuck, man, this dude's been busy, like cranking one out for both shows that drop on the same day, even though I think we got his a few weeks before. But yeah, like he's a really new artist for me. And these little wild, kind of like Keshi sized little sort of dudes with like plastic seaweed and stuff. And it's this whole little universe kind of fossilized stuff. They're crazy little dudes. One of them actually opened on the way over, which was kind of funny. So I had to repack it. But it was cool because I actually got to hold them, because a lot of, if you didn't basically open your sort of toy, I wasn't going to open your toy and fuck with it unless it was like wrapping and stuff. So, but it's kind of cool when you're kind of like forced to be like, oh, I'm going to play with this now. It's just opened in the post, so I'm going to have to get my mitts all over it and play with them and lick them and snip. It's nothing. But no, he's
Who
really,
does that?
But this is probably giving him a plug, not for this piece in this show, but for his E2K pieces were fucking crazy. Like, I think there was two of them, they were little display boxes, and they were like that similar sort of like marble, right up my alley. They were really, really cool. And then
really crazy that the two shows are happening at the exact same night. But you're right that a lot of artists somehow ended up getting pieces done for both, which, like, normally we're seeing a lot of folks complain that they don't have time to get the piece done for one. The fact that we had multiple pieces showing up, like some artists submitted 2 or 3 pieces to yours and did the Kaiju show. Do you think that the Kaiju show happened at the same time because you had some recurring artists? Did it almost kind of bump some of the attention over to your show, do you think?
Yeah, it kind of could. I probably was a little bit busy trying to kind of get the mint on card stuff sort of to really think too much about it. But like, you're right, absolutely right. It's really impressive that you got dudes like doing multiple pieces for both shows. And it was kind of cool. I don't know. It was weird to have like 2 shows basically happening at the same time. Just a weird sort of parallel on opposite ends of the world.
Yeah, completely. This is dope, man. Birdhand Toys.
I was gonna say,
man. Birdhand's a local artist as well. I'm not sure if they're from Melbourne or if they're just from Australia, but yeah, Birdhand is a bit of a new one for me. But this is sick. It does not show up in the card. I think I showed it on the video that I did on the night, but it's basically the layer on top, then it's got a gold layer underneath, and they've just like super finely cut out those like that kintsugi stuff. It looks fucking awesome, and it's got the little Nike tick on the jumper, and I was like, that's probably just like a paintbrush quickly like flicked like that, and then you look at it and you're like, nah, that's a perfect like Nike little decal kind of thing.
Nice.
Really, really cool. And the nice touch of having the mint on card logo, which is something we noticed when pieces were coming through, people putting the either the mint on card logo or the shop logo, which is really cool. It kind of like really seals that piece into that show, and I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, it definitely makes it exclusive in that way, man. I think besides Hence to Meet, the last 2 that we've seen, right, have been from Australia, and those were 2 that I didn't know were from Australia, honestly.
I think Basement Sludge is maybe in the States, but I could be totally wrong on that.
We can trick everybody now. If Toys Alive says that they're from Australia, they might be willing to move.
Yeah. Don't twist my arm, man.
We have a breakdancing test that you have to pass at customs before you're allowed in. Just so people know, just saying.
Dude, one of the best memes that I saw was the dance move, and they put her in a scene from Where the Wild Things Are. Children's book. Dude, that was so spot on. Exactly, man. Perfect. This is cool. Gorillas choose plastic, huh? Kids with guns.
Yeah, choose plastic. Another new artist. I think he popped up a couple of times in my feed, and these were really, really sick. Really bold, like that. Just the card backs were just super slick, really, really clean. And of course, I mentioned on the opening night the little choose plastic tags. So that's not like printed onto the card. They're actual little tags. And on the little sticker tags, it's got like his logo properly kind of done. I think that's just such a fucking cool detail. And price was like $666. But then the actual casts themselves. So I didn't realize, I think, until I was packing it down, that they're actually, the guns are glued onto the card back. So they're on there really tight, and they're just super, super clean. And looks really nice as a set. It was kind of, it just looks sick on the wall. And then I think the back of it, did I put a photo of the back? Oh yeah, down the bottom there.
I like that, man. I like how, if it's a little display piece like that, like obviously you're not going to take that out. So why don't you just mount it to the card? That way it doesn't fall down or get, it's just.
What's the general opinion on gluing stuff down to the card?
I mean, we could probably talk all show about that one, man. But I think it really depends on like what you're going for in the end, right? Like if you want a piece that's got a really good backer on it, and you don't want it to be open, it's all one thing, I say glue it, because for display purposes, if it's meant to be displayed, I want it to be displayed correctly. I don't want that figure falling over or turned around or sideways or any bullshit like that. Then again, if I want to open it up and put it in a case like this, I mean, I have a box full of card backs that should be on the wall. I just don't have space for them. So I do like the option to be able to take them out. And then in that case, I obviously would not want them glued, but I would say if it's meant to stay in there, then glue it. Yeah.
I've heard,
as someone who has to personally ship out dozens of these, I love it when they're glued down.
Yeah.
There's a maker in the scene who card backs everything and they don't paint the back of their figures.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of falls into the same category for me, where they're almost kind of like, why would I paint the back of my figure? It's in a backer. And I'm sitting there almost kind of being like, if I opened that fucking toy, homie, and you didn't paint the back of it, I'm whipping it across the fucking room. Like, I'm sorry. that's just the next move. I'm going to take it out, go, neat, what the fuck? And that's just how it's going to, it'll be instinct.
Well, and another thing too about gluing the piece down is that it doesn't rattle around in shipping.
That's exactly right, man.
Yeah, and stuff.
I mean, I can spend a long time like packaging up the card and everything and putting it in the box, sealing it all up perfectly, and then I pick it up and you can just hear that toy rattling around inside the bubble, and I'm
scratching the shit out of it.
I hope this makes it onto the other side of the world.
You know, a lot of people are using that. You know, or the blisters that open now, the clamshell blisters, kind of. And there's just a little bit more work involved, right? You got to take the figure out, wrap the figure out, put it back in there, put it separately, and then secure the card somehow. But
I'd rather do that than risk it being damaged, to be honest.
Straight up. All depends if you can get that bubble open, man. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's sealed in there permanently, like that one looks like it is. So yeah, I would definitely glue that. That's a great idea. And
you kind of nailed it when it's rattling and you might break something. Yeah, I didn't even really think about that. Head falling off a figure, arm breaking off, hand. Like, yeah, that's a piss off. Out of curiosity, how big were these guns, man?
They were probably about, so I'm looking for something around me that will kind of compare in size.
Like a $2 capsule toy from the 90s?
Bigger than that.
Smaller. I think they were about 1.5 inches or something, right?
Oh,
like
shit.
They were pretty small, yeah.
Yeah, they were maybe 5 or 6 centimeters.
For some, 5 or 6 centimeters.
Centimeters, and nobody knows what centimeters is, Sam.
I knew.
Did you see? I changed it to inches for the international audience.
Where do you think we broadcast from?
I can't do inches. My fucking rules only got centimeters on it. I knew that would happen. Crumbs uses. Wait, does Canada use centimeters or inches?
Well, he's in Canada.
No, you're in Canada. 6 to 7 centimeters is average. We don't use inches, so we just go by the centimeters only. And that's the Canadian thing. I can't speak for Australia.
Average cap gun size. Yeah.
Average cap gun size. Yeah. Average pistol size is about 6 to 7 centimeters.
Yeah. Nice.
This is plastic with the Goya.
Another piece plastic. Yeah. Goya.
Yeah. So this piece is pretty wild. So I'll be honest, I don't really know what Goya is. If this is a legit like beaten product in the States or whatever. So a little bit in the dark with this one, if I'm being brutally honest. But what he did say when he sent it over, it was a part of like a new series, and I think he just did another one possibly in the past week. He shared it on his Instagram, and similar sort of vibe, but different figure. I think it might have been like a Power Ranger or something in there instead of the June dude. I can never work out how to say what those characters are. Sakadura or whatever they are. But it's like the old school, June figure. It's a little bit hard to see in the on the screen there. But yeah, can't speak too much to Goya. I actually don't really like kidney beans either, but that like to like eat them. So but it's pretty cool, and it's got the psychedelic thing on there. So I'm not sure whether that's some sort of like collab with Zucklord.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you, man. What's up with the psychedelic tag on there? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I couldn't speak to that. So if you have Choose Plastics in the chat or anything like that, give us a shout, because
on the back there's some writing on the back. The Dark Rainbow translated for us. It says if you buy this, you're an asshole. So it's like that classic Zucklord line. But yeah.
Shit.
I like that. And what's kind of funny is if you go to their page, actually, Choose Plastic has a picture of the Goya red and kidney beans. It's like, is this still a thing? And they've tagged Zucklord. It looks like it's a psychedelic bootleg challenge. So it might have also just lined up at like the same time period that they were able to get their psychedelic piece in at the same time of doing a mint on card piece.
Right.
But Goya
Thanks,
beans
Gums.
are real. I had to go looking at that as well. Yeah, Goya is a company that apparently makes a bunch of beans. And then a fun fact, for some reason, when I was a kid, I thought that the beans in Chile were really good. So I decided one day when my parents weren't home to just crack open a can of red kidney beans and just throw them on the stove and cook it up. And it just started smelling like burning garbage in my whole kitchen. So I started throwing spices in it and water and everything else. But I couldn't get the weird, gross garbage smell to go away. So I just poured it down the toilet. And even when my parents came home, they were like, what the fuck smells like burning garbage in the house? I was like, I don't know, man. So yeah, fuck red kidney beans.
I like red kidney beans.
Oh, buddy, I know what you're getting for Christmas. I know what you're getting for Christmas, bud. Bazo the Bogan from Dakin's Emporium, huh?
Yeah, I think the proper pronunciation is Bazo the Bogan. It's got to have that.
I was way off.
To it. Bazo. But no, from Dakin's Emporium. So over in New Zealand, he loves an Australiana piece. So last year he did the Ned DeLorean, which is like cross between Ned Kelly and the Mandalorian, which was awesome. And it had like a what do you call it? Like burning.
It was a wooden backer that he'd like hand burnt.
Oh yeah. Wow, nice.
Yeah, like
Carolina
a bunch of
Cool Cat did or something like that recently.
Blister, and it was really cool. So yeah, this year he went for another Australiana with Bazo the Bogan, and I just lost it when I saw Lisa up on the roof with the Australian flag, and just that scene from The Simpsons when she's just off her face at Duffland and I am the Lizard Queen. I just fucking lost it, and then yeah, I think if you can sort of see Homer, he's got like some sort of. Actually, do you guys know what a bogan is? I probably should start there.
I have no idea, dude.
No clue.
Yeah, this is a lost in translation thing. It's like the Goya beans, but in the opposite direction.
Yeah. Now it's your guys' turn to fucking sit there and get told shit. So a bogan's like, I guess, what, an Australian redneck, AJ? Kind of, is that the easiest?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I guess like bogan's maybe a little bit more of an affectionate term.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's not exactly an insult to be called a bogan.
Yeah. And a lot of people own being a bogan. Like it's
yeah. Well, I guess a lot of people own being a redneck as well. So maybe it is sort of comparable.
Yeah.
Don't tread on me crew.
No, it's not like that. It's more like a larrikin. It's more like they're kind of more. Yeah, they're more funny.
Yeah,
like the Trailer Park Boys.
Less guns and like incest.
Yeah.
Wins the rap boy says rednecks play trash.
Less guns, more like Jim Beam, and like cars that are really low to the ground and have massive rims and shitty paint jobs and heaps of big like script stickers on their back windows, kind of thing. But not necessarily all like racist, like insane people. I'm sure some of them are, but yeah, that's kind of what a bogan is.
Yeah.
They're like Canadian rednecks, not American rednecks.
Yeah. Well, then there's divisions of American rednecks. I'll have you know there too, if you really want to get down to the brass tacks of it all. Anyways, like Fletcher says, like the Australian Kenny Powers. That's a very funny comparison right there, dude. I like that. Good one, man. This is a reboot from him, right? I have this piece from a couple years back, and it looks like he cleaned it up a bit.
It's a little cleaned up, yeah. All the way from Mexico, Epoxy Crusader.
Yeah, very nice.
I love the titty bean freeze at the moment. He couldn't have frozen at a better expression.
Oh, that is priceless, dude.
Yeah, there we go. That's the gold. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, man. Grayskull Toys said Sucklord did a bootleg challenge, so that's where the Sucklord logo came from on there. Okay, good to go.
And I think they were just it just so happened they were kind of doing a little overlap.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Duck Payback, though, like you said, Epoxy Crusader from Mexico. AJ, did you guys were you old school Nintendo fan? Was that a thing out there?
Oh yeah. We had the Nintendos at the same time as everybody else.
You're like, no, we live on this planet. It's cool.
Yeah, pretty much. Bro.
Bumped off. That's a good one, man. 40. That's 40 Australian, right?
Yeah, I did. Yep.
Oh, you know what? And I didn't even think to mention that. Are most of the prices they would have been uploaded on your site in Australian pricing, correct?
Yeah, everything's in Australian dollars.
Of course, right, yeah, no shit.
And the Australian dollar sucks right now.
I was going to say,
yeah,
so
it's
USDs.
It's like if you look at that price, it's roughly like 30% off to translate it to US dollars.
Yeah, I want to look that up right now with the conversion rate.
That's a good way of putting it, though. It's almost like 20% off. And I was actually curious about this earlier, too. How does this end up affecting you guys in the actual shop when people select this option? Man, that seems brutal.
Yeah, we don't really notice it because you don't have anything like this over there. You don't have this Afterpay thing.
Yep.
Yeah. So the company Afterpay just pays us in full. So it's just like a normal transaction for us.
Got it. So 40 Australian right now is $27.18 in US currency.
That's almost 50%.
That's a hell of a deal.
Yeah, it's like 35% off. Yeah.
And if anything, you just almost need like a big sticker that says 35% off for Americans. And
yeah. If
God. The American discount. Oh boy. What do we got next, man?
Well, it looks like Epoxy actually ended up throwing 3
Epoxy Crusader sent through a few different pieces.
And I know that this one here would have actually been in their DK Econ, I believe, as well. And they've done a new cast in that. And then actually this Bart, though, was a freshie. I hadn't seen this Radical Zombie Bart. That's a fun freaking paint app, man.
Is it a paint app or is it like a resin marble pour?
See, well, and that's what's actually so hard to know. If it's a 2-part mold, this would make a lot of sense for it to be a pour. I could go either way. You were the one that you would have seen this in person if you had to guess.
You know what? Like I feel a bit lost without Tiddy Bean right now because honestly, he did so much work for this show. Like last year, like obviously I tapped him on the shoulder to get him to bring the artists on board last year, but then I had to do a lot of the work setting up the show and doing all that kind of stuff. But he was there the whole time. And this year, he kind of just like did it.
Sorry, dudes.
Don't be sorry, man. But if anybody goes back later and actually screen captures that frozen part and makes it into a backer, I can't be held responsible.
What happened? You all just like blacked out. So I was like, I don't know if it was it just me that just fucked up?
Yeah, you basically looked like you were right in the middle of your O face, to be honest with you. It caught you right in that mid O face.
Who says I wasn't in the middle of my O face, Crumbs? Like
I wondered. At first I was kind of like, damn, he really likes that piece.
Yeah, sorry guys. Yeah, I think must be my Wi-Fi or something. Just fucking glitched for a sec there, but hopefully.
Hey, we were just wondering, is this is a marble pour? This one?
I think it's nah. So I think the stuff on top, I think it's paint. Yeah. So he did 2, did this one and the other one, which was called, I think it was actually called like or something. Same Bart, but I think it was green and then green paint on top. Bit swampy-ish.
Yeah, maybe the sold out ones aren't on the store. We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
How dare you? If we don't see some, we'll make sure we go back real quick. I've got them all saved in a tab up here in the mint on card anyways, where we've gone through and grabbed a bunch of them. So if we're missing somebody, then they're there. I know Folklorian ended up getting called out on this one today in the chat group. The Penetrable Hulk.
Yeah. This is like it's a sick base, like the detail and stuff going into it. Like there's actually magnets under the feet, so it sort of stays stood up in the blister there. But just something that I just found hilarious, and I've been meaning to put this in my stories and stuff. If there's a photo of the back of it, how there's like a Jazz Whiz reference, there's a little photo of Jazz Whiz on there, and I can't remember what sort of whole. Someone posted it the other day. It's so fucking funny. So when I was like going through and photographing everything, kind of being like, oh, well, this is sick. And you like flip it over and like, that's mad. Like, yeah, cool. And like take photo, then you put it in the photo booth and you start to like really look and see like all the little kind of like details and shit. And yeah, just this little like green Jazz Whiz photo on the back referencing some sort of Hulk was just hilarious.
Now, are there magnets on the bottom of the package? The blister, and then he's got him in his feet, and so he stands right there. That's fucking badass, dude. I have not seen that before.
It's really cool, and the way he's kind of got it, so it's good. It's got the hanger. Yeah, that's it, Crumbs. It's good. It's got the hanger, but then it's also got the blister where you can display it like on a plinth. So I think initially I might have had it on a plinth, and then we kind of were running out a bit of space. Then we were able to hang it up, and it hangs beautifully. Like it does. It all just sort of stays where it is, and thanks to the magnets as well.
Dude, what a great idea! And isn't that funny, man? Is that basically solves the problem that we were just talking about, where you have a loose figure in there that's not up against the card and you want it to stay. There's one option for you right there. Magnets in the feet, dude. I have not thought about that. So, Jim, I saw Jimmy in the chat, man. Jimmy, tell us, dude, is it did you glue magnets on the bottom of the blister, like on the outside or the inside? Or maybe you know, Sam.
Yeah, definitely. They're on the they're on the outside underneath. And
Gotcha.
then, in the heels of the feet as well. But no, it's awesome. But then all the different Hulks on the back there. I think Crumbs had the photo up before of like, all those. So
nice.
Yeah, no, it's so good.
Damn, that was a good idea.
Now we've got to have those Hulks, or else it's all just bullshit.
Exactly. Like honestly, this time next year there better be the other 7 or 8 Hulks there, and yeah, I'm just waiting for the Jazz Whiz Hulk just to be sealed in plastic forever. Oh, this is fucking dope. I love this piece.
It's surreal, man. This is such a weird but dope as hell piece. Like, what are the odds of this happening in general?
Yeah, I think it was so weird just like looking at it, being like, "Oh, that's General Porpoise," and I'm like, "No, that's General Porpoise right there." And it had that weird thing where you feel like you've seen it before, kind of thing. You're like, no, I've just seen the logo so many times, and it's like burnt in. And you're like, but that looks like a genuine character art. There's just something really kind of bizarre and like really awesome about it. And he just keeps fucking leveling up General Porpoise with his pieces, the backer, like all that stuff. And even what he's got written on the back, it just totally captures that adventure people stuff. Like, the retro looking little kind of like screenshots and just the font and where everything's like laid out is just, it's the complete package right there.
I've got to say, Deep Pruitt slayed this sculpt, man.
Dude, I was just going to say, didn't Deep Pruitt do that?
Man.
Yeah.
Thanks for picking that one up, Crumbs, because I couldn't remember who exactly it was, but yeah, thanks for tapping in there.
And then the paint app on it to just friggin' wrap it up, man. Yeah, General Porpoise is stupidly good.
So there's something which was really interesting. I remember a couple of days before, I think I was coming in to photograph everything, and Porpoise sent me a couple of messages being like, okay, so like when you sort of set the card up, I didn't actually read it through thoroughly. I was like, I'll wait till I get to the day because I'm just going to get stressed out by like, holy shit, this seems like a really... Anyway, I sort of got there and read the message, and it was really straightforward. So you can actually open the blister. So at the top 2 corners of the blister, you can kind of like slide out. And then the way that the General is like fixed in there is 2 tacky kind of like dot things. So there's one at the ankle and one at the shoulder. So I was basically put them in, take the tab off, and then sort of like reseal it. But just even how the resealable blister works, like he's got these little plastic corners on the edges. I think they're like little photo corners from photo albums. But it was just an awesome little setup of like, how you can make a really slick resealable blistered piece without having, I've got lots of Velcro dots or all those pop open. And I think that's what am I thinking of someone else? No, I think it was Porpoise saying, the clamshells that we get, I might have one around here. They have that giant recycling logo on like the front of it. And it's a little bit off-putting. It's good when you kind of like need a blister, and they definitely work and serve a purpose. But yeah, if you're looking to make a really clean piece like this, having that giant recycling triangle in the corner just really looks shit. But no shade to people that have used those clamshells in this show, because that's definitely possible. But anyway.
I just want to say something, man. First of all, Deep Pruitt, we got to get that dude on the show. That dude is doing some crazy shit. His digital sculpts are off the hook, man. Like, as far as 3.75 original figures go, super sick, man. I love his work. That piece right there, man, it's the complete setup, right? Like, as far as a logo goes for an artist, fucking A, man. There might not be a better toy out there right now that represents exactly what a name is, but that is the General Porpoise, man. That is such a killer piece.
It's so cool. And I love that when artists have like an actual kind of like name you can make a toy out of, or that has a logo that you can actually make into like a humanoid kind of like toy. I think that's fucking so cool. Not everyone can kind of do it with their names or brands, but yeah, when you kind of have a name like General Porpoise, you can fucking make General Porpoise and you can make it look exactly how you want. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, straight up, man. Next, we got Grayskull Toys and the Avant-Garde. So when Crumbs gets back, we'll start scrolling through these again. Grayskull Toys, man. The another Australian.
Really?
No. Am I wrong?
I think everyone's Australian.
Hey, everybody's Australian tonight. We'll just keep saying it. Isn't he Australian?
He's from my neck of the woods, actually. He's right from around the corner of me. He's like an hour or two drive away from Toronto. He's
Canada, Australia, they're neighbors, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Grayskull Toys. So I think it was the WWF or WTF show earlier this year, and I saw a couple of Grayskull pieces. That was actually a really good point. So when the WTF show happened, I think I was just starting to like make a list for mint on cards. So I was like, perfect, which I hope that kind of happens next year as well, because it's really good, gives me a good head start. But Grayskull Toys, I think they did like minis. I think they were like little mini G.I. Joe things, and they were just fucking hilarious. And I was like, I've got to get this dude for mint on card. And he came through with 2 pieces. So this is the first one. I loved it. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go back and get this, just because it is just, it's got that good level of like cheese to it. It's got that good, it's got that soft goods. It's got like the, what do you call it? Classic like vintage backer.
Yeah.
And I think if there's a photo of the actual back of it, it's kind of like a Fashion Week, almost like Fashion Week sort of poster or pamphlet kind of thing. Which is
it looks slick, man. Like you said, the layout is it looks super clean.
Yeah.
Especially even the way he did like the runway, right? Like the light.
Yeah.
It's a great looking piece. Nice.
Yeah, no, I love that. So I don't know if I'd love to know like the actual soft goods, whether that's like cut out of like a bed sheet or something, or if that's something that's been printed or drawn. I'm not really sure, but I'm pretty keen to go back and get it.
I love this piece.
Yeah.
It looks like a Mandalorian mask on Buddy's fabric there. I don't know if the soft good was a Mandalorian mask, but it might have been like a Star Wars sheet. Vintage bed sheets. Boom.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, nice.
Oh,
yeah. It fits, like it just fits perfectly with the scale of the figure and stuff. But yeah, this is the second piece, Sesame Street Fighter. This is a brilliant piece. Fucking love it, dude. It's just so fun. That was one.
Oh man, what a great backer too.
It's just so clean. And then just having them there. Yeah, no, I really like that. No, I think that's just fucking so funny. I'm not a massive Street Fighter fan, but I'm more of a Mortal Kombat kind of guy. But yeah, this just hits so many points. I was like, why have we not thought of this already? And of course we haven't thought of this already because it's too fucking genius.
It's great.
I think he's one that they stuck to the backer, but I think Bert might have popped off, or Ernie. Ernie, yeah. But no, it's a fantastic piece.
No, maybe I'm wrong here, but like that is referencing back with the Ryu and Ken. Like, okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's I believe that's Ken's level on Street Fighter.
Ooh, bit of a Street Fighter, are you there?
Take that, Mortal Kombat guy.
Fuck this.
I love both games. This is great. Better Call Maul. Better Call Saul, Bob Odenkirk. That dude's a fucking great actor, just to say that right off the bat. I love that dude. That's a cool looking piece though, man.
Absolutely. I love this. So he I think so this is Hijack 85. So he did a series. So I think he's got multiples of these. So he sent one of Better Call Saul and sent one of the others as well. But I love Better Call Saul, the TV show, and saw it. So I think he sent me preview shots of this, and I was like, fuck, dude, this is just so good. And then once I actually kind of get I think I was so focused on the figure for ages, and then I actually looked at the backer properly and was like, holy shit, Maul's face is right there. And it really is the cover of Better Call Saul, but just bang on. Like it's crazy. And the paint job on the head as well, like all those little like red and black things. I've never tried to paint Darth Maul's like shit because it looks way too stressful. All the little horns and the eyes and stuff. Yeah, it's super, super clean. And one of, I think you might be able to pop the backer open. I'm just looking at it now, or it might be stuck down. Can't remember. But yeah,
you're right. When Darth Maul, that is not an easy character to tackle either in the 3.75 version, or you could even go smaller and go with Barrio Boba and his little homies one and the work that he did on that, dude. I don't know how the hell he pulled that magic trick, but that's dope. Tons of Anakin, dude.
They're combining two things I find that's neat here. Is like we generally see people like Dan O'Brown, or there's a couple other artists that they go this route where they're making like one-offs, very like close to a character from a show. They're gonna pop it up on eBay for what's that called? Like
auction.
The auction. Thank you. Yes. So it's interesting to kind of see that style merged in with this bootleggy meme. Just
It's really cool. Actually, I'm not even noticing until right now that the Sons of Anakin patch on the back, how it's got like Vader's, like it's like a Vader skull there, and but yeah, just genius. And they just like use the torque Luke, just fucking so good. And yeah, I'm pretty sure you can pop these out because I think you can like get the lightsaber and put it in his hand and stuff as well.
Oh,
cool. So pretty sure.
And does he paint? Is he painted the flannel as well?
Yeah. So it's kind of like it's not just sort of like gray and then like sort of stripes on top. It's like that kind of he's fully painted the flannel with those sort of like little gradients in there, and then he's done the plaid sort of streaks and stuff, and then also the little signs there. I'm not sure if they might have been transfers or maybe it's just kind of like white paint, but yeah, like where the little fucking name badges and shit are all there. But yeah, it's just genius. I'm pretty sure the arms move as well. I think it's got a bit of articulation.
That's dope, man. Hijack 85 just as an artist all around, man. If you guys aren't following Hijack 85, go check out that account, dude. He's got some super sick stuff. And he's a newer artist, at least, from what I've seen. And maybe it's just one of these guys that's been out there for a while and I just kind of got turned on to him. But some really cool in hip-hop mashups. But he's sick, man.
This is pretty
new.
He goes like he's doing like mashups like every week. It'd be like kind of like new character, boom, 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 and just like have heaps of like, holy shit, dude! Like you're on a roll right now. It's fucking bad when you see that. People are just like bursting at the seams with ideas and actually executing them, putting them out there, and it's really, really nice when you see people on a roll like that.
Definitely, man. He's from the UK, and like you said,
no shit.
Yeah, his like the frequency of stuff that he puts stuff out and new stuff, it's nonstop, man.
Yeah. Nice. So this is one of the shop guys, Fletcher. So I remember, I think I was coming in to do photos for the show a week before the opening, and Fletcher was in the shop, and he's like, I probably won't be able to get anything for the show. And I was like, and he said he had like a couple of pieces that he could maybe. And I was like, you got a week, man. So I'm sure you've done, less with more or more with less or whatever. And then, like 3 days later, he was like, cool. Got like 5 carded ones or like Kip Ash painted up. And so that was really cool to have it kind of be like, I think I could swing it. And then Fletcher's, AJ can probably speak to this a lot more than I can. Fletcher's pretty notorious for just like going hard at the last minute and just like adding on top of things. Like those custom shows, his pieces were just like, AJ, I'll pass it over to you.
It's the number one quality you want in a business partner. Nah. He knows I'm joking. I love you, Fletch. But yeah, he does. He goes hard at the last minute, and he pulls it off. He pulls it off.
Yeah, every time.
That card is sick, dude. I mean, I'm not even talking about the figure, but the card. Man, dude. And how many did he do? 4 of those? Was that 4 of those on there? Wow, that's sick, man. God, that's a great looking figure too, dude. I don't know what that is, but that is dope.
It's really cool. So I think he sent me when he was just getting the cards together, and I was kind of like, holy shit, just the crispness of the print with that sort of damaged side on the left there. And I was just kind of like, holy shit, is that like fully all textured and stuff? And it was just like a really, really good print, really well designed backer that kind of gives it that 3D effect almost when it's just a 2D print. But the colors and everything are just like, I think that's very much Fletcher's palette as well. Those kind of not quite pastels, but there's also that metallic kind of stuff going on there. And yeah, they're fucking rad.
His background's as a graph artist.
Yeah.
So he does pieces. So you can kind of see that influence there. Everything, yeah, the color palette and the blocks of colors as well. It's very much his signature.
Very cool.
I know it's maybe stupid, but I love the fact that they actually thought out the balance of the figure and the fact to put the little clippy hole right on the far left for the balancing. So when it hangs, it doesn't do that weird. See, it seems dumb, but look at that collector. You guys heard that collector right there. Oh,
what a great idea, dude! I tell you not. I don't even get me started, man. I mean, you put them on the wall, right? And then they go like this automatically. And then so you put another one like right here so to stop it. And then the other one's doing the same thing. It's like, what the fuck are we doing, man? It's like you got a Jenga puzzle before you know it. But
when One Trick did his collection tour, I couldn't help but notice that a bunch of them would be hung like this. And then this little clear thumbtack on the bottom right corner. Instead of on the bottom right where you're like, yeah, it's just keeping it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That is very smart, dude. I did not notice that. That's very smart.
I did that exact thing. I think it was for the first This Is Not a Toy Store show a couple of years ago in Preston. It was like a group show. And I think it was the first time I got like that proper hole punch and stupidly did it like right in the middle of the card and then like pulled it up and it just fucking hangs there. And I was like, oh, dude. But I'd punched like, I think 8 cards or something that were all in the wrong place. So that's when I learned. And there was a couple of people
like a Mortal Kombat guy would do, huh?
No. But there was actually a few artists that had to punch their cards because we sort of just were running low on like floor space, and we wanted to get as many hung as we could. And there was a couple where a little bit of pressure there as well. Like, yeah, I'm going to punch a card, but if I fuck it up, then I'm that guy. But they were all good. So if people do purchase things that didn't have a hole and then all of a sudden they receive them, they do have a hole, that's probably why. Kajuki up next, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I was going to say anyways, though, but dude, toy people don't get angry. I think you're good. These Kajuki pieces are nuts.
No toxicity at all.
Man.
These are crazy. So I'm pretty sure that this is the only, because these aren't quite 3.75, and that backer right there, that's like a piece of fucking chipboard. Like that's like,
it's big.
It's like 2 inches thick or something, which is that's about a centimeter thick or half a centimeter. But no, like they're really, really thick. And I think, I'm not sure if the skull and the horns stuff might be kind of like etched or burnt in.
Yeah.
That was definitely one I could not punch a hole in. But I think this was probably the only piece that was outside the 3.75 kind of scale. I didn't realize until the very kind of end. I looked around and was like, holy shit, I'm pretty sure we don't have anything really outside of 3.75. So these guys, I think, if Kajuki's in the chat, are they like 4 or 5 inches tall? Maybe not 5 inches. That seems pretty big for some. But then and you've also got a swappable head, so you can crack that blister open as well and swap the heads over. So it's got like a little Grim Reaper head in there, and a little bit hard to see in the photos, but like all the eyes are like bleeding like blood and shit. So they're really cool, and they weigh it's a heavy boy. And the way it actually stands in the blister as well, I think there's like a piece of card and then maybe the feet are sort of attached, but like it keeps it nice and sort of upright, but easy to take out. But yeah, there's actually a piece of card. So that bottom of the blister is actually kind of like matte black. That's the other thing. Like people just we could have a show on like the crazy blister setups people have when they're like, whether they're making them themselves or they're Frankensteining, like manufactured sort of like blisters and shit. But we'll get to a piece later that is just crazy on the blister scale.
Tiddy, you brought up an interesting point. I've been thinking about this more and more recently because a bunch of the Canadian boys actually, they refer to themselves as 5.5 makers. And my brain always thinks of Motu figures as being 5.5. And Motu is really, when you think of like this being a 5.5, Motu seems so much larger than one of these that I don't really consider this like a 5-inch figure. And I feel like that's where sometimes in the indie toy scene where it gets weird is we end up with like a 5-inch figure. and you don't realize how much bigger it is than a 3.75 until you see like a 3.75 scrawny and tiny, and you're like, oh, yeah. Because I think, again, Motu has kind of stolen the 5-inch, but there's tons of like 4.5, 5-inch figures we were all playing with as kids that were still in that chubby but short realm, like TMNT.
Yeah, spot on.
Yeah.
So that was awesome. That's Baron Blood, or Blood Baron, sorry. And then he's got the Laser Ghoul.
Ghoul. God dang, dude. I told him straight up, like, bro, can you see? I think, or he might even told me, and we were just talking about it, but dude, Laser Ghoul on a shirt. Fuck.
Yeah.
All day.
Mm.
What a great figure, too, man. God damn.
Yeah. It's like his Phantom Star Killer. Like, well, it could be like his Phantom Star Killer at this point. It's definitely a very well put together character.
That is sick.
So good. So it's got the I can't remember if it glows or not, but it's got a really sick ink wash all over it. And again, you got the swappable head, so it's got the similar sort of head to Blood Baron. And so I think I sort of took it out and the head swap. So I put one has like a ghoul head, the other one has the sort of horned head. But again, with the blister, so he's got that kind of like that gradient, that spray paint like gradient kind of thing there, and it's just like that little fucking touch, that little pop of color, just like it's so good, because he could have easily just been like clear blister, but just that, again, attention to detail just to kind of make that blister a little bit more kind of poppy and to really frame the figure is awesome. But I can't remember if it glows. Kajiki, if you're in the chat, let us know, because it was fucking nuts.
Yeah.
There we go. Nice.
Oh yeah, glowy boy.
Sick.
Yeah, man. Ooh.
Yeah. Really, really.
I'll tell you what, man. A glow pick in the light, highly underrated as far as pictures go, man. That gives it such a killer look sometimes.
It's tough. With a lot of those pieces, especially like UV reactive glow in the dark, it's like you want to give us true of a picture of what it really is, but at the same time a camera really can't capture what the heck it looks like in person, and at the same time you're trying not to misconvey it. And art, man.
Yeah.
This was interesting to see a Slipknot tribute.
Yeah.
Hey, guess where this artist's from, guys?
Not Australia.
He is.
Nice, man.
Major Break's awesome. Major Break came. He's one that started at the workshops. Did you want to sort of tell the story, AJ?
Yeah, so he's like hyper local. He literally lives around the corner from the store, and his wife bought him our workshop series as a gift to like get him out of the house or something. And he just super took to it, and he's absolutely killing it now. His claim to fame is that he's the only artist that ever got us a cease and desist.
Nice.
And it was from the weirdest place as well. It was from another band, but it's like this local Australian band, which they're called TISM for people, for Australians, overseas. I don't think they're popular overseas. So he's coming back with trying to get us an even more scary cease and desist letter from Slipknot's management this time.
Nice. Great work, man. I mean, the graphics look great on it.
The sad thing is that I probably only know of TISM because of seeing this artist's work earlier, to be honest with you. The figure with the mask on and everything.
That's right. Yeah, the band always wears balaclavas.
Fair.
So it's like rumors. It's not rumors. It's confirmed they were like teachers and lawyers and shit, and people that are kind of like amongst. So they couldn't. And the music that they played was pretty fucking funny and stupid. Somewhere between a parody band and like a punk band and this kind of stuff. They're hilarious. Like, look up like Greg the Stop Sign or What Are Ya? What Are Ya is the fucking funniest
I'm on
thing.
the drugs that killed River Phoenix.
Oh yes, yeah. He'll never be an old man River.
He'll never be an old man River.
And then there's
Classic
I might be a
Aussie
cunt,
band.
but I'm not a fucking cunt. That's also a good one. These are like dead set. These are the names of the songs, so people look up TISM because it's hilarious. But yeah, they all wore masks and shit, and you really could do like all their different stupid masks. Anyway, let's go to Slipknot, because Major Break does something really, really cool with his pieces and his blisters, that the flange is actually under the print on top. So I don't think you can actually pop these guys open without really demolishing the whole thing. I'm pretty sure he did it on his other pieces as well. But it's a really cool way to
that's how he does. That's how he does it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it maximizes the amount of print you can see. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks
True.
nice.
It looks it looks super clean because you just don't have that little bit of flange, and then sometimes if you're sticking those things down, depending on what people are using, it'll like come unstuck, or you can kind of see the double-sided tape, or like mine, you got the Velcro kind of tabs. But it's a really beautiful way to display the figure and really seal it in. Like there is no kind of getting it out unless you want to destroy the back, which is pretty cool.
Thing. That's definitely like a food thing. Like it's something I've only encountered when it's like you got to rip a food item or a cannabis item. That is really like the only times I see something where it's kind of like, oh, you want this? It's sealed between two pieces of plastic, and you got to freaking rip in here. And damn, man, now you guys make backers. Out of curiosity, how would that end up affecting like the difficulty of actually making your backer, having that freaking bubble print cut out for both sides?
Yeah, I don't know how he does it. Like I'm sure, like with a bit of like mental energy, you kind of sort of do it, but I just don't. I think I get really, especially when making double-sided backers, getting it to kind of like fold and making sure all the lines line up and that kind of thing. I probably just do a bit of a dumb way anyway, but it's really stressful. So I can't imagine kind of adding another layer of like having that little window cut out of the piece, and then I think he's got so there's stuff printed on the back of it as well, but I think it's just like the duplicate of the front. It's got the pictures of the band. But if you go to, so he's done a couple of obviously variations of what's his name, Corey, but I'm pretty sure one of them, the dreadlocks are wool, and it's like perfectly colored to that sort of era that when Corey's wearing that mask or whatever. I think it's the dark, it's the third one down. Yeah, so it's probably really hard to see, but just the way he's colored the dreads is fucking exactly like, just the gradients kind of going down is exactly like the it in real life. And then just the masks obviously have those little sort of differences. But it's just super cool. He's just really, really clean with his work, and just came out the gates just swinging. So good to see.
Nice.
Oh, got another Aussie. So this is Night Terror Toys. He doesn't really have a preferred scale. I feel like Night Terror does a little bit of kind of everything, like from sort of like sculpts to painting up vinyls and stuff. Like, you're often part of the vinyl show, AJ.
Yeah, he kind of does. He's one of the more interesting local artists because he kind of just does whatever he wants.
Yeah.
He doesn't stick to any one thing. He's like, oh, we've got this kind of show coming up. I'll put a piece in, and he'll just show up with it.
Yeah, so it's really cool. And these, I didn't realize until probably just after the show that no pressure pot with these pieces either. So that's a pretty big skill, because you look at this piece and you just think, so that's either a legit Chewy or that's just sort of a pressure pot kind of resin piece. But yeah, he's talking about he doesn't have a pressure pot. I was like, holy shit. But yeah, this is awesome. Resealable blister as well. He's got little Velcro tabs so you can take him out and have a look. But really cool. So and just Alien Wars, Chewy on there, just that really clean, crisp backer. I really like his work. So he had 2 for this year, but I think the other one's sold, so we can dig that up in a little while. But yeah, two kind of, also 2 like sort of different pieces, but the same. So hard to explain, but really, really cool. Love Night Terror Toys. And fun fact, I might have said this last time I mentioned Night Terror Toys. I'm pretty sure he was my first ever customer that I actually sold a toy to.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's
through
cool.
Etsy or something like that.
Nice.
Which is really cool. But
you have me a little curious now. If we can quickly.
Yeah, so it was Greedo. So it was like a deceased Greedo. So it was like a classic kind of Star Wars parody packaging kind of template one. That was his one for the Motorbot. Yeah.
Okay. Same. Yeah. So similar artist. Same artist.
Yeah.
Last year's though. Yeah. I'll admit
photos up.
It might have been that Tism too.
Oh yeah, that's a Made to Breaks one there.
That's the forbidden figure.
How long? But actually, sorry, I just side quest. What how long between like the post the toy being up on Instagram to the cease and desist? Was it a pretty quick kind of jump, or was it out?
No. We sold a lot of them.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was quite a long time. They were up for many months.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and we sold a lot of them. Yeah, he actually got the letter first before we got it, and so he'd already come in the store and taken the stock out, and then we got the letter saying you can't sell that anymore, and we were like, well, we don't even have them. So
yeah.
No, it's cool. We sold out anyways. So
yeah.
Do you think to some degree, do you think them selling so well is partially what ended up obviously kind of like getting the word over to those people that it was even happening?
I think honestly, I mean, if you know anything about the Bantism, it's actually kind of really odd that. So I don't think they had anything to do with it. I think it was just someone at the record company just doing what they do, you know.
Who's up next?
Ocular Caviar. Now, this was a brand new one for me. I wasn't familiar with this artist, but fucking fantastic work. My goodness, man.
Yeah, I'll let AJ speak to this one. They were absolutely a new artist for me as well. So AJ knows.
So Ocular's he's similar to Night Terror. He's a local artist, and he crosses a whole range of art toys. He doesn't. I'm pretty sure this is his first venture into like the bootleg 3 3/4 inch, and he's smashed it out of the park. But he normally he does 3D sculpting. He does everything. He's a legit artist. He does all the backing card art is all his original art. He's a 3D sculptor. He's got a printer at home. He's a painter. Incredible. So yeah, this is his stuff. You can check out his socials to see what he's done different shows in the past. We had a bootleg Smurf show earlier in the year, and he did these amazing 3D sculpted bootleg Smurfs, all bagged up and everything as well, which might be worth pulling up if you can find them.
But so when I was joking about the Bong Toad before, so Bong Toad is one of Ocular Caviar's pieces. So like really cool that he sent 3 pieces that are just kind of all different on their own. Like he's kind of, your parody kind of one there, and then the other 2, just really kind of different, and each have a bit of a different sort of blister and card setup. And I was blown away when AJ told me that all the backing art is all it's his work. It's not sort of like collaged or kind of like photoshopping sort of stuff. This is all like OG artwork there. There's a lot of work in those backers.
Yes,
nice.
There we go.
Yeah, that's right. Because when you mentioned that, I had to go looking for them. This is insane, man.
That's so good.
Those are awesome.
And then Tiddy, you kind of nailed it, man. Like this definitely was what caught my eye earlier today. Looking at a piece where I'm like, damn, yeah, obviously I need a little action figure that a bong turd. What am I doing with my life?
Dude.
And then even like the world fucked, let's get stoned. It's like, dude, exactly. Ocular Caviar, man, you're speaking my language, my dude.
I was just gonna say, how many people saw that and were just like, yeah.
Right? Fuck, man.
Oh man, that's good.
But both really good. Like all 3 really good. And the fact that now you guys have let us know too that like all completely original art on the backers too. Yeah. Stupidly, man.
And I'm pretty sure this one here, like, see that little celestial picture? I'm pretty sure they're dicks in the background, or that's just me projecting. But once you like look close enough, you're like kind of like, I'm pretty sure there's space dicks out there, celestial peen, I think. But I don't know. Buy it and then have a close up, and then maybe you can feedback what's going on.
We can report back to Sam on if those are dicks or not.
But another really sick piece, and like I said, they're just really different from the one before. So I love that, just kind of that range when people just kind of want to go all out, because it's very easy just kind of do 3 sort of similar kind of pieces or duplicates of the one, but you really mix it up with each kind of piece there.
I just want to make sure Dre is pointed out it's not just dicks, there is a badge there as well. So yes, Dre.
True
for catching. My apologies, we missed that. But even the paint up on this, man, absolutely gorgeous. That like metallic-y pink and like the little purple down there.
Yeah, it probably doesn't show up too well in the photos, but you're absolutely right, Crumbs. There is that sort of like metallic kind of bit of a sheen to them. Same with the other two as well, Bong Turd and Mum Mothma. There is just that like that sort of metallic-y kind of pearlescent sort of sheen, which is really cool. Just gives them another little point of difference.
Yeah. If anything, also the next one in here is Ocular Rhombus, and theirs is definitely a little different as well. Them and Vomiting Droids both went with like computer parts for their backers, man.
Yeah. So I think they were both sort of sending me photos at the same time. I kind of knew what Vomit was doing. And then, Ocular kind of sent me this, and I was like, oh, that's awesome, because they were both very different to one another, but also just kind of building off that circuit board sort of thing. This was really cool. I think when it came over, he just came a little bit unstuck in the blister. So as I was taking the photos, I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to take the blister off, and there's fucking bolts. So it's just to like unscrew and then take it out super carefully. And like, I think it's a pretty like robust figure, but like just at the time, one, I was really excited just to be like looking at everyone's pieces and taking photos, but then I was just like sitting there shaking just from excitement and nerves of like, just need to get this figure just a little bit more straight. And it was good. But yeah, there was a good 5 minutes there where I was just like sweating bullets. But I didn't actually realize, I didn't want to kind of go get too involved in it. I think you put photos up the other day. His the articulation's kind of still in there, so he's probably quite robust, but such a nice piece. Don't know where he pulled the blister from, but yeah, like I said, that's all screwed in, and then he's got all the plugs along the side, and you can put the sword in there. It's crazy. And then you probably can't really see, but so the bottom right, there's a screw there, so you can actually, so just sort of, it's self-standing, just fucking stands there.
Nice.
So really, really cool.
And then it's on the bubble there, dude. That's the little signature there from Ocular with the paint spray app on there. That's pretty consistent in his packaging and on his figures as well. But
absolutely,
that's a killer looking piece, dude. God,
it's a really cool piece, and it's a chunker. Like it's definitely kind of there. We're not sort of talking like sometimes a scale off, but like it's a really, really good sort of chunky piece. And fixed, I'm pretty sure the figure's fixed to the little card at the bottom, and then the way he's kind of like made sure that card, so you can kind of see that little dot, little plastic kind of dot there to kind of keep the cardboard under there. Just some of the engineering again on these blisters, and the thought going into it is wild, because you could just simply just kind of put that card in, put a little bit of plastic under there, but just the thought and the detail that goes into this is wild.
I think that's one thing I really like, man, about just the Mint on Card show in general, is that, when you buy a loose 3.75, you can display it in a cabinet like this or someplace else. You kind of got to pick and choose, but with a piece like this, I mean, that's a substantial piece, man. That's a piece that you're going to build around in a display or something like that. And that's the feeling that I get from a lot of these pieces. These are significant pieces you could put behind glass and kind of build around them. I mean, something like this, you're obviously not hanging that on the wall. That's it.
And it kind of takes the backer side of it and kind of makes it like the world, like a slice of the world. It doesn't this isn't just the packaging. Like this is kind of like, a little fucking electronic prison cell this dude's like sealed in, not necessarily, that's not just a toy on a backer. It feels like there's a lot more story to it when they go that hard. And he always takes really nice kind of really
that
nice
color
shots.
really shows up on that video, man.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, very cool.
Now, I know you love Pentler, sorry. Their page, it was so hard to try and find if they had posted this.
Yeah.
But holy shit, man. You guys got some real big dogs in this show.
Yeah, I pulled some strings. No, I didn't pull some strings. It was just kind of, I think it lined up that because he made those toys, it's just has to grease some palms, man. Like you had to seal the deal. We've been watching we just finished watching Mad Men, so I'm just like, I'm real Don Draper at the moment, just fucking smoking darts and drinking.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, he's out there fucking huffing darts left and right. Man.
No. So he made these a while ago, and this was sort of one of them instances where you see an artist just be freakishly good at everything they put their hand to. So we collabed for a DKE thing a couple of years ago, and then he hit me up a month or two later, just kind of being like, "Hey man, I'm having a crack at making toys," and I think it was just some basic sort of 2-piece mold advice, and then he just absolutely killed it and was just like a professional bootlegger straight off the bat, and was kind of like, holy shit, now like we're just going to get smashed by Prent. But he just kind of pretty much just made this figure, and he's really happy with it. So again, hard to see in the photos, but it's got that kind of gunmetal pearlescence to it. And I think that's actually the resin. I don't think that's a paint job. I think he's mixed up the resin with that bit of sort of mica powder and black pigment, and they just come out really, really slick. And it's just perfect with that. And even just the name, I don't think the name had clicked when he did the initial drop, which would have been probably like a year ago, I think. And then as I think I was like typing up everyone's stuff into the spreadsheet, I was like, Alf, that's fucking genius. Like as in Alf, the teddy and this. But so cool. But yeah, when he did the initial drop, I was like, please put one aside. I'd love to have it for the show. And he was more than accommodating, which was rad. So really pleased to have Paul's stuff in the show. And I think on the back of it, and of course, like his he's obviously a 2D artist. He's worked for DC and all this kind of stuff. And just the level of his like collages and those little kind of figures down the bottom. Any piece of his work, you could just spend like a good hour just looking at all the little, nods and references and little collage pieces he's put in there. And that just looks like that a xenomorph with the Martian. I can't remember what they're called, those big headed dudes, but
like the Ak.
Yeah, they're the other ones.
Shit, Metaluna.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
And it just fits perfectly. Obviously, it's their both reaction sort of bootleg figures, but really stellar piece there.
And admittedly, even the back, I love this. It's like it's here, the feature pack with 0 points of articulation. It's like, love it, man. Like just go right into it, lean into the friggin'. And it reminds me of what's his name, Pendragon. That blackness they got, that nice like sleek black, very Pendragon.
They're very, very clean pulls. It was that thing of like, man, this dude can just fucking do anything.
And speaking of Pendragon,
here he is.
Here he is.
What a gorgeous fucking backer on that one.
Yeah. So a bit hard to see. This is it lenticular or lenticulated when it's kind of that how it fucking moves.
Lenticular, correct.
Yeah. So he sent like 3 of those. Pendragon, I think, sent 6 pieces in total. So he sent 3 of these and a couple of other pieces. But again, he's one who's like, hey man, do you want to jump over the show this year? And he's like, yep, cool. And then like literally 2 weeks later, you've got like a shitload of, and you're like, man, the show's not for like another 2 or 3 months. But I love that if you get your pieces in quick, we can kind of get it out there. But love Pendragon. He always really spoils us with what he sends over, and his pricing as well is just very, very reasonable for the work that he puts into this stuff. And it was also cool to see him pumping out throwing out some 3.75 stuff, because we'd probably seen a lot of Safubi from him, or vinyl work, and had his own show in Mexico and all this kind of stuff. So it was really kind of cool to see that he still has that love for 3.75 and was wanting to join the show and send stuff over.
Ocular Caviar swooped on that one. Nice score, dude. That is it's a beauty of a piece right there.
Yeah, so they're really cool. And I think I couldn't quite work out, but I think each of these ones is slightly different. So it might have been just the angle I was looking at them, but I feel like they just had a little bit of difference to each one.
You mean the backing cards?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they definitely are.
Yeah,
I mean, they're all the same, but there's just, kind of like that oily, whatever you call it, is, it's slightly different on each one. I think maybe he had like a big piece and cut them or something. I'm not sure.
Oh, true. I've got to speak to Pendragon about how and where he gets a lot of his backing kind of done, especially the like metallic-y sort of foil type ones. I really want to work out, because I think that's what I wanted to do for the Bosk figures. I wanted them to be a bit holographic, but it was just like I didn't have the time to go far into it, but I'd love to know how to get that shit done at a reasonable price, where I don't have to get like 5,000 of something printed, because that's just not going to happen.
His backers are primo, man. Like you said, just kind of the almost like the metallic, the real shiny look. It's super sick, man. That's a beauty right there. I love the way there's something about that font, dude. What is it about that font? I like that. It's just so it's like
really crisp.
There you go. That's a good word for it. Yeah. Nice.
Sorry, boys. Just gonna grab a dart.
Oh, so Sir Collect-A-Lot, yeah, rounded corners. Dude, I'm looking around. I don't know if I have any Pendragon pieces that have rounded corners. I think they're all squared off like that.
I'm sorry. I've got to interject for a second because one, I didn't know that Aussies also called them dirty darts. Two, Tiddy, I did not know that you hacked dirty darts, my bro. I don't think I've ever seen you put a dirty freaking tanner in your mouth.
Wait, what's a dirty dart? What is that?
All darts are dirty and a dirty tanner, because it tans your fingies, gold members. A dirty tanner.
There you go.
What the fuck are you talking about?
It's a Canadian thing, apparently. I don't know.
I didn't know Aussies called them darts, and I didn't know that you hacked darts.
Oh, sorry. I get what you're saying now. Yeah, darts. I think, darts is probably pretty Canadian. So I know we've always called them darts, but when I started watching Letterkenny, and I was like, holy shit, Canadians call them darts as well. So that's good.
Yeah, see, Dre Zayas knows they tan your fingies. Either that or he's just repeating me.
Yeah, you get a bit of
the dirty tanners.
Yeah, I never heard them called tanners. Anyway, we digress. Another Pendragon. These are fucking rad. These are really cool.
This is a sick one. Out of casted weaponry, accessories, or silver painted?
I'm pretty sure the head, I think, is a different piece. The hat's painted, and then the swords are painted. So it's all two pieces. So head's a different piece to the body, but it's all like glued together. So he sent two of these, and they've got the DKE like pop open clamshell kind of things, which are really cool. But that blister, I mean, the backing card probably doesn't show up as well in that photo, but it's a real kind of like hyper green. It's
very it's fluoro.
Yeah, it's fluoro. I've just forgot that I left the dog in my room. I'm going to be back in 2 seconds.
I love the contrast, man, with the green and the pink there. That was super sick. He had a whole bunch of backers like that, or similar, I should say, at Decon last year, where it was just like a bright backer and some wording. Super sick. God, dude, this is such.
Speaking of like the differences between the two, so Jason and Nicole, man, I love the fact that for the Plastic Vomit Customs, the fact that there's two individuals from that company and very, very different pieces between the two of them. So we've got Jason's here, which is going to be the 2001 Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
But so different than from Nicole's transparent dude.
The stained glass backer, yeah.
That backer is sick as all hell to me as well, man. The fact that it allows the little transparent dude to still remain transparent, this is a sick piece in my opinion.
Yeah. You're right, dude. If they would have put a solid backer on there behind that, it would have changed the look at that figure, or I think at the appearance of it,
Yeah, this is incredible, this piece. So I think they shared the Boba Fett one, which was wild, and then they've done this one. They might have done a third one, or maybe it was when they showed off this, but you kind of see, this is another one, you see sort of the photos, and you see Nicole shared a photo of it like up against the blue sky, but then you see it in person and just how shiny and glossy like the figure is. The blaster is, you can actually take the blaster out of the hand as well. Like I didn't try to move any kind of articulation. I wasn't that brave, but it is just super clean, super glossy, and that card is just like, it's totally see-through. It's fucking nuts. Really hard to kind of do it justice in any type of photos. Videos probably on a super sunny day with a blue sky do it the best kind of justice, but nah, so good. Plastic Vomit. And it was really nice. So I think Nicole did that one, and then I think Jason did maybe the Spaceman or Space Guy. That's really cool. This was wild. I'm not a big 2001 Space Odyssey fan, but just that is really striking. And the figure is just spot on. Like that's obviously like a X-wing pilot. Luke or whatever, and the head is, what's the head from? Does anyone know?
I don't know.
Is that a Marx figure? The face is just so freaking ugly inside that helmet that I can't think of who the hell that is.
Yeah, I actually don't, because I think I've said it on something else recently, and I'm like, man, I need to work out where that comes from. Anyway, fucking rad piece.
Yeah.
Really, really clean. So yeah, they killed it. Really happy to have Plastic Vomit on there as well.
Folklorian says that the head is a Remco U.S. Forces. Jeez, man, this freaking toy group.
Yeah, you guys fucking rock, man.
Well, I mean, who are we to think that anybody else would know that besides the human almanac himself, Jimmy Folklore? Thank you, sir.
God. You and Pocket Toyco, both of the cutouts for your backers, man. I've got to know how the hell that process happens. How do you guys do the freaking cutout backers? Explain, please.
I think Pockets is probably a little bit harder because he's actually got stuff on the back of his card. My ones have just got signature and stuff. So, yeah, like his would be way harder to kind of like line up both sides. Obviously, everyone's got a trick to how they kind of do their double-sided things for it to all sort of match. I'm not so great at it sometimes, but the one slightly unfortunate thing with this guy was his head had turned in the shipping process. So he absolutely does have a painted face. We just couldn't turn it around without busting the card open. So, which was never going to do that. But look, I was actually surprised when I decided to do the cutout. It didn't actually take as long as I thought it would, but I think I just broke it down into like 10-meter sections and just focused on one section at a time and just going slowly with a new razor or a new scalpel. But I feel like Pockets has a lot more trickier angles. I could be a little bit jagged with mine because it was kind of, but Pockets got like these really kind of clean, smooth curves and angles. That's the curve like that fucks me up anyway. So it's much easier to have little kind of like square jaggeds. But yeah, as you see, there's a lot of smooth cuts on Pockets card. And I love this card. I can't actually remember who did the card. I know it was a bit of a collab with someone. I'm not sure if Pocket's in the chat, but oh no, it probably says it right there somewhere. Maybe not.
It's in Brazilian, but I'm going to assume that this art do personagem, it's probably like personal art or backer art, is character art Canalot or Canalot.
Yeah, I could be right. Oh, yeah. Anyway. But yeah, it's a really cool piece. And he's done a few different variations of this. I think recently he had a little stall at a show or something. It was like a black one and
an all black, yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool. So I love Pockets Doom. And just a little bit of soft goods as well. It's got a little chain. It's just those little touches.
And this resin blood fucking piece, man.
So good.
Now, out of curiosity, how did you guys end up having to display a resin backer like that? Like, did that end up being complicated?
Yeah, so I kind of knew in the weeks leading up to it that it was going to be, it's probably going to be one of the harder ones to kind of like, all right, how are we actually going to sort of display this or mount it? Luckily, the store had a good bunch of like, I guess they're like photo kind of stands or little kind of stands. Luckily, there was a perfect kind of steel one that could really take the weight. But yeah, that thing weighs like a kilo.
It's a lot, man. That's the best way to display them too. I have one of those, not that exact one, but I have one, and that's exactly how I have mine displayed. It's a heavy piece, man. The figure in there is dope too. But what's crazy about that backer, dude? That is like a thick slab of resin, straight up.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
I love the tubes that he added on this one too. Mine doesn't have those tubes on them, I don't think.
Yeah, the tubes are awesome. So you can take the figure out as well, and you can take the gun out. But I think it was double-sided tape, so it's got a bit of a lifespan on it. So I didn't want to fuck around with it too much. But the actual thickness of it really is about 1 centimeter thick. And yeah, it's really, really hefty. And I think when I first looked at the photos that he'd sort of sent through, I didn't actually realize that the side was like a skull, like a Terminator fucking endoskeleton kind of thing. And then once I saw that, I was like, holy shit. And then he did a couple of other variations, but just getting it where you can get the yellow to actually sink into those parts without it kind of affecting the pink would be so fucking hard. Like, but he just does a sick job, and he just blasts these things out. They're so good.
I feel as though Skull and Void probably brought this weird colored cord into the scene with their Doom tracker back in the day, and then we saw a couple other pieces, but it's really come to life since then. And Resin Blood's probably one of the only few I've seen that's doing a full resin backer besides Barbarian Rage.
Yeah, it's really hard to get that particular contrast between the pink and the yellow. It always clashes, and it always just becomes. I've actually got one here.
You know, and I like the way the figure is such a contrasting color too, man. It really makes it kind of stand out in the packaging there.
Yeah. So if you don't, yeah, this is basically what happens. Oh, fuck. Oh. So it looks cool. Looks really good under UV, but once you kind of like look at it in real light, it just kind of looks like a bit of a mishmash of like red
Gotcha.
or like pink, and then just sort of turns into orange. But yeah, get that contrast between the colors is a mission. So I think there's probably a few pores in there. Yeah, I'd love to know whether it's just in one giant sort of dump go, or if he's doing sort of like layers. He'd have to do layers because that's the only way to make sense. Anyway, that's cool. That's why this piece fucking rocks, because you start to think about how it gets made.
You kind of nailed that, man, because admittedly, like, I hadn't really thought about that, but I've done quite a few yellow and pink combo pieces this past year, and they always seem to want to blend into that orange, right? And like that contrasting orange is so different than your hot pink to your hot yellow that it does really throw off the goal.
Yeah.
So yeah, beautifully done. I'm glad you pointed that out, man, because that's patience, right? Waiting for that resin to cure.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm going to just put it out there. I don't know how B has been doing it for months, where he was doing 2 hours, where somehow his bladder was just like a freaking army general. But of course, you guys are going to discuss Rut-Row toys. Well, apparently my little coffee bladder just goes in and dies again. But this backer is fucking gorgeous.
Yeah, Rut-Row sent over two of these, and they are super cool. Like the love Rut-Row's backers, so I'm just getting back into the lab. Rut-Row's backers always kind of had that real abstract kind of thing. I remember a while ago he was explaining how he would take photos of like image screensaver kind of things, and then they would just make these really cool backers that you could just kind of fit a lot of different sort of types of figures with the colors and the patterns and shit. Because of my poor photo taking quality, I probably should have got a close up of this guy, but it's got that sparkle. So it's like a black figure, but then it's got a little bit of a colored sort of sparkle through it. And then, DK clamshell pops open. And then the little cape, love the bit of a sample here. It's like one of them little vinyl kind of capes.
Yeah, nice, man. Rut-Row's figures, God, dude, that's another one where I think his backers are really cool. And the figures, I think I have them in both styles, you know, on card and then off card, but the figures are always original. Usually some kit bash going on, but it's always super sick stuff, man. That is a clean looking backer. What do you know about the artwork there?
I don't know anything about the artwork.
I don't either, man. It's dope. I mean, whatever that is.
Are you sure? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether he's like photoshopping it or if it's just kind of from something. But yeah, if he's in the chat, that'd be cool to find out. I don't actually know what head he used. I think the body was a Bespin. Oh no, maybe a vintage Star Wars. It's really familiar, kind of like torso, but then the arms I can't remember, in the head. But yeah, it's also a little saber as well tacked in there, so it's awesome.
Yeah, nice.
I'm going to take the opportunity to have a piss as well because I'm busting. Sorry, dude.
You guys are all weak. What is wrong with everybody? Worst villain ever says, you ever notice how yellow Gatorade is the most discarded by the side of the road flavor? I see it everywhere. It must be awful. Yeah, job sites especially, man. Yellow Gatorade all over the place, man.
Now, you were asking about the paint on this. I just decided to pull it up because I wasn't sure if there may be anything on here. But unfortunately, nothing on that actual image. Original illustration for the back was created by ink and wash, scanned, then colored digitally to match figure. So I'm not sure if Dookie ended up doing the actual ink paint work on that or not. But fucking gorgeous, man.
Very nice.
Bomb. Yeah, and I honestly friggin', I don't know how either of you are just muscling through this without, anyways. You're not humans. Slow pour. Now, Admittedly, every time is this from a character? I feel like I'm missing something on this one. I'll be honest, guys. Is it a comic character or a TV character that I'm just missing?
Don't know.
I don't know. That's a new one to me.
But Slowpour seems fucking good, man. Sorry,
you can't really see from this photo, but this one's got a really interesting blister. So those spikes that are coming out of the face, the blister, they're coming straight out, and the blister actually goes over them. So it's like a custom-made blister.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
like they vacuum formed their own blisters. It looks like.
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
Interesting, man. Yeah, it's hard to see that. Well, you can tell that it comes out. I thought they would just go straight through there, man, but they got the bubble over that, huh?
And it's actually a pretty sick kit bash too. We don't see that C-3PO body used too often with pantaloons and arms.
Yeah, I think. And then he's also got little soft goods kind of cape as well in there with the chain. But yeah, I think it nearly broke him trying to like pull this blister off. He went through so many kind of pieces of plastic. I don't know what that shit's called, but yeah, he went through heaps. But I think he shared another colorway the other day, a bit of a gray and red combo. It looked really slick as well. But yeah, those spikes come out like a centimeter or two, pretty much. Like it's out there.
Nice.
And yeah, fully sealed and encapsulated in there. And again, another one that put the little mint on card logo up the top there, which is just a nice little touch. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
Just to show some of the variants of it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's better. Yeah.
And considering, again, this is an artist that I hadn't really seen before. Like, looking at these, it's just like, damn, dude.
Yeah, so I actually won one of those. I didn't realize I'd won one of those on, I think, Toys Alive. And then he was like, hey, man, I've got this thing. And I was like, hey, man, do you want to be part of this show I've got? You know, he's like, yeah, cool. So he sent that over and just kind of went real hard.
Fuck,
nice.
Man. Fellow Aussie artist?
Nah, States, I think.
Everybody from this show is from Australia. From now on. That's how we're doing this. This one is, though, Sasquatch Breath, UK?
No, Australia.
Australia.
See, I don't know shit, guys.
The one time you guessed wrong, brother.
Oh, these were great, though, man. These Lord Shreds. I did see these. He did make more than one.
Yeah.
I don't know if he carded up more than one, but yeah, these are cool, man. Very cool figure right here, 3.75. Nice.
Yeah. So he just started making, I think, 6 months ago or so. So I'd been sort of having a bit of contact with him in the DMs, and yeah, he was like pulling a cast together and shit. Got a pressure pot. It was like, yeah, cool, get in the show. And yeah, made Lord Shred, and like it's a little bit hard to tell from here, but that card is just like about, it's big. It's a lot bigger than a kind of like normal, and it's thick. It's almost on like foam or some really thick cardboard, but it's the way it's printed. I just saw like, I don't know what paper is used or if it's like printed on like sign. It's almost like a sign. It's hard to explain. But yeah, and such a good character, such a good like mashup. And I initially thought that had an ink wash over it, but I think the little purple bits are actually pigment, and it's all kind of like a little bit of a marble between the clear pink and yeah, purple.
Nice.
And then you got really sick paw on the other one where he's got like the pink feet and the pink hands. Come up, yeah, pink arms come up so good. Yeah, love that dude. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, B was just saying there's a couple more. It's like, yeah, you ended up carding up all of them, man.
Wow.
Yeah, that's sick.
Those are clean. I like
and
that.
I think the first time we saw them pop out would have been during the TMNT show, to be honest.
Yeah.
It was just in March.
Nice.
But frig, man.
Yeah, nice, killing it.
Back to how B was saying at the beginning of this, that Australia is really pumping out a lot of powerhouses this past year, especially if we consider every single person in this show is from Australia.
Where's this guy from?
This guy? Parts unknown.
The
Probably
pits of
Canada. Pits of hell. Does it feel that way some days?
Dude, these are so sick, man. And you know what, dude? Like, we talk about this before, and how you can just add a cape to something. And I'm sure you did more than that on those, but dude, what a cape adds.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just a personal thing, but that's sick, dude. I love that freaking figure on or off card.
Thanks, man. No, definitely. I kind of, other than like having it on a card back, I want to just have a little bit more of a bit of a panache to it. Because I guess I used to have Bosks come with a blaster rifle that you could sort of hook onto the back, but it never really worked. So, but I was like, oh, these just need a little bit of sprinkle something good on top. So I was like, I had some old vinyl and capes and shit. So they were pretty easy to sort of whack together. But I was really wanting to get the PVC kind of like vinyl stuff. But I've just been lazy and not really ordered it. I finally got some.
Yeah.
But the good thing is with some of the figures will have, so that one's got pegs in the arms. And then I think the black one's got magnets. And then the orange one's also got magnets. But the PVC, it doesn't hold, like the magnets in the arms don't like hold on. So with pegged versions of it, I'll use like sort of vinyl and fabric capes. But then, pegged versions will have, the PVC capes. Anyway, so it was just a cool little thing. But yeah, I cast these dudes up late last year and just kind of had a stockpile of Bosks.
Oh, wow.
And so when AJ sort of asked about if we wanted to do the show again, I was like, I've definitely got like enough sort of toys there, but it's just about kind of making them look decent. And then I wanted to do a cutout, I think, for the Vladstronauts last year, but just kind of went for the normal sort of backup. And then this year, because I wasn't really casting shit until like maybe like a week or two before the actual show, so I was kind of limited in like doing stuff. So it sort of ended up on Procreate, and I remember I had some good photos of Bosk and went, fuck it, I'll just do a cutout card. Like the paint up jobs were pretty minimal. I wanted to sort of use as much of like the marbling and stuff as we kind of could. This green one was actually just sitting on my shelf. This was kind of one that I had. He's also got the sparkly cape, doesn't really show up.
Oh, yeah.
I just had him on my shelf because I was kind of like, oh, he's good, but I wasn't really sure. And I was like, I'll just hang on to him. And then I sort of laid the figures out. And I think in a lot of the photos, I had the multicolor, like rainbow Bosk.
Dude, that yellow inside, black outside, man. I dig that. That is sick.
Yeah, it come up really nice. So that's just like that's a shopping bag. Like a fabric sort of like reusable shopping bag, and then that's some sparkly cricket like adhesive vinyl.
Nice.
But it looks really nice in the light. It just
it sure does. And it looks like it's like a substantial cape, dude. It's not flopping all over the place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's nice, and like it's kind of it's good. It can get a bit of shape to it, but it also doesn't sort of pop your arms out too much.
Yeah. He's ready for winter.
Yeah. So but yeah, then it was more just kind of balancing the colors of the figures with the colors of the backers, which I had maybe 9 different sort of color variants. And then that was probably one of the stressful things, is just trying to make them all pop on their own, but also not kind of clash. But yeah, really liked that one. That's a 326 kind of like marble. So that's a triple pour. So I think it's clear, orange and black, and clear orange and black.
Oh my god, dude, that one would go back one, Crumbs, if you could. Oh my god, are these all sold?
I think those 3 might still be. Oh, actually, if we're in the store and they're there, then they're still available.
Okay, all right.
And then, Weird Kid Club. I don't want to actually miss you here. Did you end up submitting a piece for this show as well? Being at no, okay. I just wanted to make sure that we weren't totally dodging over you while you're sitting chilling with us.
No,
not to put you on the spot or anything. And Tiddy, honestly, I think this might be one of my favorite that you did, mainly because I know how much you love Moth, and the fact that fucking Death and Strawberries ended up doing the backer for this, and it turned out gorgeous, man.
Oh, really cool. I've got one here. So this is actually going to go to Death and Strawberries because it's the pink version, and it sort of matches the original painting.
Oh, man.
Right.
So I was like, I've got to send it over to him. So they come up. So this is something that I thought of like ages ago, and then I think John reached out to me. This is like going back maybe 2 years, and he's sort of reached out. So like, we should sort of do a collab, and I was like, oh, I've got this like stupid idea of like Grand Moff sparkling, because I had the mold and just tried to blast out a bunch of moths, and then just had him in a cup for like years, and he was like slowly working on the painting. And like there was no sort of deadline. It was just like, hey, we'll check in, see if that's happening. But then I think he just finished it, and Mint on Car was just like rolling around. So it just like timed up perfectly. And then yeah, the painting in itself is just nuts. Like the photos on it really don't do it justice. But if you kind of get in there, it's really cool. I think he's shared some photos recently where it's a bit
Yeah,
a bit more detailed, and God, yeah, really nice card.
That's
So
great
that
work,
was
man.
cool. So I think that's our first collab as well. So really nice to be able to do a collab with someone that you've kind of known for a couple of years in the scene and chat to and share your work and love their work. And so that was a really nice opportunity for him to chip in. And yeah, and the figures come out really nice. I just tried to replicate obviously the moth. So trying to get the little insignias on the chest and belt, all that, and just keep it pretty clean, but also pretty simple. Most stressful is always the eyes, like getting that. Luckily, the original figure eyes are basically just a line with a dot. But yeah, trying to get that is a little bit stressful. And what I do, anyone trying to do eyes like that, I think I've fluked it a lot of these anyway. I think it's like a 0.1 like fine liner, and you just be very careful, just like a little but yeah, you have to get the thin fine liner, because with paint or ink it just kind of spreads and messes up. But no articulation on these. They're just, the arms are glued on. So
I'm gonna be that goober for a quick second for anybody out there that wants to know. A quick little tip too, if you don't want to use a marker, I find if you put the back end of your paintbrush, or one that you're not using too often, through a pencil sharpener, that also works really well. And I'll just continuously sharpen the ends of some of my shittier paintbrushes and get them nice and fine point. I don't want to cut you guys off. I'm going to do a quick little stop sharing right now, because B is going to be taking off right at that 2 hour mark, because normally we want to try and keep it in that 2 hours, but I'm probably going to stay on with you guys after B dips out. But I know B's got a giveaway that they want to try and rally out before we move along here tonight.
I do. And I apologize. I have business to attend to here momentarily, but we are going to give away 2 items here. One of them is the Babadrock Wolverine. Look at the pour on that bad boy. Bam. That is from Babadrock. Oh, this was donated by Babadrock actually a little while ago. We're just getting around to giving it out. And this one here is the X-Wing Luke. Look at that, dude. That looks like water in my hand, or ice. And this is from Plastic Vomit Customs. Nice. So whoever wins tonight is going to get 2 figures. Why? We're cutting down on shipping. That's why. Bam. Wolverine, Plastic Vomit. What did we get to, Crumbs, tonight? I think you said 35, correct?
35 human beings are going to go up on that wheel for you.
Human beings. Well, I don't know if they're all human beings. That might be debatable. Trying. All
right, we can do is wake up and try.
That's it, man. I'm going to share my screen real quick so we can get this. We can get this wheel going. 35 numbers on the wheel tonight. Good luck, everybody. Plastic Vomit and Babadrock. Oh, what happened? Ooh. 32, Crumsy. What do we got on 32?
Dark Rainbow Toys.
Oh, you're kidding me.
No way.
Which seems fitting. I mean, come on. It's a night devoted to the Australians.
Dark Rainbow. How about that, dude? We spoke it into existence at the beginning of the show. And how fitting is it that a Australian wins the figgies? Nice. Very cool. Gentlemen, I do have to sign off. It was a pleasure having you on. Crumbs is going to close this thing out for us here. But congrats, dude. That was another fantastic show. AJ, I mean, the gallery, dude, is on my list of places to eventually, but probably will never visit one day. But it looks amazing. And congrats, dude. I mean, you know, as far as the scene goes, dude, this was the biggest thing out there, you know, for, you know, the time that we're in right now. Dude, there were some super sick pieces. I know you guys are going to go through some pieces that were sold, like the Vomiting Droids piece. Like, get the hell out of here, right? That thing's amazing. But anyways, man, congrats again to you. Thank you for your time. From the future, I guess, I would say Friday over there, eh?
It is. Thanks, HB. Thanks for having us on, man.
Thanks, babe.
Yeah, you got it, man. You guys have a good one. Thank you, everybody, for watching tonight. Crumbs is going to take you home. I will see you next week with Hobo Toys in the house. Bye.
See ya.
So right now you guys are stuck with me, man. The true fun begins. So Weird Kid Club, I'll admit, homie, I feel a little bit bad because I feel like we're not maybe jumping over to you. Tiddy knows that you know certain artists, and then you're just so humble that you're kind of like, whatever. So if there's pieces that you definitely are sitting there being kind of like, yo, homies, fucking mention this, please, by all means.
Of course.
And
Of course.
Jack,
I mean, yeah, Tiddy's all over it, man. Like, you know, this is like, he put so much work into this show. Like, he really did.
I think you're just being humble. I think it was a whole group effort. Let's be real here.
Absolutely, mate.
All right. No. We're going to pop back into the share screens here. We'll go right back over to the window of, where are you hiding here? Mint on card 2. We're almost done with the ones you guys still have up on the website, but there are still a whole bunch that we've got chilling behind there. I've got this worst villain ever. Now, worst villain ever, if you're chilling in the chat, because I do feel like I'm missing something, and unfortunately, I work in the gay district down in Toronto, so anybody who's coming in with like a shirt talking about like picking bears, they're usually not going to be women. So it's usually not the choosy women choosing bears. I got a lot of dudes coming in wearing bear shirts or bear hunter shirts, but this is a very new one to me, to be honest with you.
No, it was Crumb. It was that little thought experiment that was going around earlier in the year where people were doing this meme about would you rather be in the woods alone with a man or with a bear? And a whole bunch of women were saying, well, the bear is less dangerous, right? And it caused a whole thing. It was a thing that was going on for a while. You know, obviously there was a reaction. A lot of men were saying, well, how could you possibly choose the bear? A bear will eat you. And then the women were like, oh, yeah, no, bears never raped me or whatever, you know? So that's what this piece is about.
I had no idea that ever happened. I just thought it was kind of like a peanut butter and I thought it was just a crazy toy by Worst Villain Ever. I didn't realize there was, holy shit.
Yeah, that's a deep one, man. Because I'm looking at the Jiffy, but you kind of nailed it. You know, what's sad about that, though, is, so not to keep on going about the district that I work in, but oddly enough, all of the crackheads have kind of realized as well that, like, it's a very friendly area to gravitate towards, right? Because, of course, people are very friendly, very empathetic in that neighborhood. So then other people kind of drift in. And it's gone to the point that, like, you know, people come in, whip their dicks out. We have to kind of be like, hey, man. So you know what? I think I would pick the bear, too, at this point. As well. I'm kind of with them. Bears. Worst villain ever, man. This is great, dude. And a beautiful... Like, I don't think we're giving enough credit of how nice this cast actually came out. Maybe it's just the fact that I don't play around with Resident enough and I don't have a pressure pot, but I think that's a fucking nice ass cast of that fucking Ewok, man.
Oh, it's like super clean. It's almost like you've got a vintage figure and just rubbed all the paint off and just put it on it. So it's actually glued to the back as well. So it's really sort of stuck on there. But yeah, it is just like super clean, and I love just his variations of all the different kind of like Ewoks that he can just like punch out that are just so unique, and whether they're on a backer or whether they're just like cruising around by themselves, they're so good. And he does that wax work. So
I was gonna say the wax casting on them is just absolutely next level as well. Yeah. Like, because I think we're gonna see that here, right? What happens when you start being able to wax them up and just all the different variations you can create. Damn, man.
It's really cool. That one comes with a print as well, I'm pretty sure, of the backer or the original kind of like artwork. But that whole, all that writing there is just like the writing up basically of a story that kind of it involves like mint on card, I'm pretty sure. It's nuts. Like, it's like a whole essay. And again, got the shop logo down there. Yeah, so much work gone into it. Just the backer in itself.
See, and I'll admit, like when I first got into toys, I don't think I necessarily really understood this portion of things, right? Like originally you're so much into kind of seeing things like this that you're just kind of like, yo, like I just wanted to buy this. Why the heck am I getting? But then you realize that so many of these dudes, like one, it's a task to try and do. Like, you know what I mean? You're like, I want to see if I can do it. I want to see if I can make a full backer. But two, our whole lives we've grown up getting toys on a backer. It's almost kind of like you're trying to replicate the entirety of the process, not just the casting of it. Like when you're making your backers, are you thinking of like what you've seen for either of you, whether it be header cards, backers? Are you thinking of commercial, or are you thinking of other indie toys and how you've seen them packaged up?
I mean, I do header cards for Sofubi. I mean, my whole idea behind the Mint on Card show was to showcase backing card art, you know, and it's awesome that so many people, especially this year, clicked onto that and really went next level with
Next
their
level on the
backing card
card.
art.
Yeah. And you bring up a good point, man, because even again, I wouldn't have really thought of that as being that like Mint on Card, but part of the challenge actually being, well, but design a fucking rad card.
Exactly.
Like it's not just a mint. It's my tiny brain's catching up. I like the way you guys think over there.
There was also sort of, I guess, artists where they just don't. So Lab Monkey Number 9 is a good example of like artists where you're kind of like, I know that you don't do this, you don't do backers, and there's no expectation. And there was, I sort of threw that out there to a few other people, just being like, if you really want to participate, but you just don't do backers, or you just, you know, you'd rather display something else in a different sort of form. Absolutely. But pretty much 99% of people just went, yep, bang, put it on a backer, whether that was mounted on a wall or whether it was, you know, more of your ocular rhombus sort of situation or vomiting droids. But yeah, really, really beautiful stuff.
And then looks like from the website version here, the last one's going to actually be a Yoyodyne toy division, which I'm digging, man, because Yoyodyne's actually a part-time Torontonian.
He sure is. So I love having a Yoyodyne, like the bootleg toy scholar kind of. That's what just like he is. He's just like that PhD in bootleg toys, or you know, the umbrella term for all this toys. Don't want to get the foot in my mouth, but it's just such a cute little dude, and all those that Brillo box transfer and the little like Warhol fucking toupee little wig sort of thing. It's just so good. And there was a point where we were sort of trying to work out to hang, if we could sort of punch cards and hang more kind of pieces. And he was sort of one I was like, oh, we might need. And I was like, I can't punch a hole in that. Like that, having that yellow and just that really bold thing to kind of have a punch hole in there. I just think it'd toyify it just a little bit too much. I think this is something that doesn't need to have a punch hole in it. So, and he's stuck the top of the blister so you can just kind of open the bottom and take Warholy out. Oh God, sorry, the dog's scratching.
You better be sorry, Tiddy, man. Doesn't your dog know that you're in the middle of the most important interview of your life? Your career-defining interview?
But nah, Scott just really kills it with his work. I love having him on board, and he's always one of them artists that just kind of does it, gets it out straight away, like takes it seriously, and you know, puts a lot of thought into his work. Love it.
For some reason, I actually really was this actually a label maker raised up indented font, or was that on the card?
I think that might have been printed on the card, but I could be wrong. But I don't remember it having the little kind of printy texture. But yeah, I could be wrong on that.
What do we know? We don't know anything here, folks. All right, now we're hopping over to like the saved ones, because a couple of these were not appearing on the website due to the fact that they were so dope they sold already. This is the Dookie McFart stuff we were talking about, but actually these here, Mallow Toys, man, sending in 2 submissions, another card fitting it.
Yeah, so these guys took the scenic route for the trip to Australia, but she absolutely nailed it. And these are really like, not really sort of talking about price, but these are really well priced for what you're getting from Mallow with the work going into the backing cards. And this was another one that didn't have a punch hole and was kind of like, where are we going to sort of like put it? And again, really glad I didn't actually punch it because I don't even think I asked her. So that's probably a good reason. Always ask an artist before you punch their card if you're putting it in a gallery. But we were able to hang one. And then once you sort of put the candy jar on the plinth, it just looked really good, like a little candy jar actually sitting on the plinth rather than a carded toy. But yeah, they're really beautiful pieces, really clean. And, you know, Mallow uses the Remco figures. So it's not, you know, your reaction figures. Like these are the old school OG horror figures, which I'd love to get my hands on and start casting some. But yeah, they're really cool. And her backers are always just super crisp.
Now, was it just the one that ended up going off your way, or did this end up going to you guys as well?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we got
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. Beauty, man.
Yeah. just all the like the little text details and shit. Add chicken in death. Yeah, that's just awesome. And obviously Boatman or Grim Reaper, is it? It's Clash of the Titans. Boatman.
Clash of the, yeah.
Yeah.
And then this is actually a fucking unique as all hell one. And there was a couple of folks that actually ended up going towards the Gizzard. I'm getting that wrong here. The Lizard King. There we go. Well, click on everything. I don't know. But this was a freaking huge piece, man.
Yeah, it was massive.
Yeah.
12 inches tall, custom box, 8 custom figures.
Yeah. It's a hefty one. I saw it maybe come out of the box, but AJ, how big do you think the actual like shipping box for this guy?
Oh,
was?
the ship. So, not only is this guy, his toy game is strong, but his packing game is next level, because there was 3 boxes. This was inside when he shipped it. It was like twice, like the box it shipped in was twice the size of the toy itself, but it was in perfect mint condition. So there you go.
And yeah, his packaging, like he's got that professionally like printed and packaged. Like that is a legit toy. That is a toy you would sort of pick off the shelf, like in a box, like in terms of the just how it works. However, I'd be pretty getting this out and unpacking it and then displaying it and then packing it down was one thing that another thing that made me sweat bullets because it was a little bit nerve-wracking. However, the way he packaged everything, it was really good. It was more just kind of like being really careful. But one thing with these figures, the hair is a different resin to the faces. So he's printed, I think it's 3D printed, or if he's casting some of it, but the hair are different pieces of plastic. I'm pretty sure the hands and like the drums on the figures down the bottom, they're all like fixed to the figure as well, whereas the dudes up the top, you can take the guitars off. So he's done it in a way where it's really kind of practical, but it's also good and sort of safe. So there's so much thought gone into these pieces. And just like, I'm not a King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard like massive fan. They've got a couple of good songs, but I appreciate their prolificness and the cult following that they kind of have. And that was kind of proven when this sold, like basically within a couple of hours of it going online, with people actually reaching out being like, hey, is there going to be any more? Or I definitely got a message or two that I directed over to Cosmic Evil, who made this. But yeah, so sick. And you can't even see in there. There's like the head's hollowed out. So there's an actual figure standing up in there. Then there's another dude sitting on top. And all these figures have like G.I. Joe articulation. So all the bolts and like just once you start really
the rivet joints.
Yeah.
So the jointing on this is actually crazy.
Yeah.
You can see they're articulated at the legs, and they're actually articulated. The legs swing. You can when you move the thing around.
And the wings as well, they're kind of like separate pieces that are just like slot in, so you can kind of move them to position them or whatever. But yeah, crazy. I understand why. I think he's pretty reluctant to do another one like that, but just the amount of work to pull it off is insane. But I'm really glad. And he was one that questioned. He's like, oh, I'm not really going to do something on a card. It's going to be, and I was like, dude, that's a fucking playset. That is, yes, please do that. If you're cool to send this massive thing over to us, then absolutely.
Just an insane piece, man.
Yeah. So that was really special piece to have.
And admittedly, bootleg Sewer Mutant as well.
Yeah.
Now, I noticed that they had done this figure for the mint on card, but I didn't see the card for it. Did it end up making it down your way?
It did. I took the wrong one home, actually. So I've actually got
one. Fuck.
So I'm taking this back to the shop so we can swap it over. But yeah, the card is absolutely bonkers because I think I'd seen a few previews of the figure and I know I'd been working on it for a little while. And that camo on that's all like hand painted camo. And I'm pretty sure the goggles are like UV reactive paint. Oh, that's probably a bit much.
I love that backer, man. That is so much fun with the pig, like with that figure as well.
Yeah. it was really, really clean. So it's kind of got like the grid sort of sketch, and there's all the little details of just kind of like little things. It's beautifully done, and just that kind of palette. That's this angles of this confusing me. But yeah, just the color palette of it as well. The yellows and the blues and the red. It just pops real hard.
Reminds me of a Sega, one of the old Sega boxes.
Yeah, totally.
Dang, dude.
So really, really cool piece. So there was 2 of these, and I think Bliss Receptor maybe had got the other one. So
they did mention that, yeah.
So, but yeah, awesome to have Bootleg Soil Mutant on board, because he just does stuff when he wants to do stuff.
Yeah, and you know what? I think a lot of makers could almost value from that. I think a lot of us in the artist like scene, we end up putting this weird false pressure on ourselves that like almost like the whole world is waiting for this thing to drop. We better hurry up and do it. And it's like, dude, it's you itching to get it done. Like, relax. Fuck, man, this was a nice set as well. Back to the Gizzard, the old
Giz again,
king, right? Now, out of curiosity, like, is it one of those things that's actually more popular with like the American punks versus the Aussie punks? Like, I don't know if.
No, you mean the band?
Yeah.
Oh no, they're very big here.
Big over there as well. Okay.
Yeah, but there's a lot more people. There's a lot more people in America.
Fucking states, eh?
I didn't realize until the other day, and this just shows me just being a bit of a dipshit, that's like the actual figure is King Gizzard, and then that's a lizard wizard. And I was like, oh my god, I've looked at this thing so many times. I've actually looked at the card back, and then the penny dropped as I was like driving home from work the other day, and I was like, wait a minute, guts. And then I was like, and it was a wizard, and it was a lizard. Oh my god. Yeah, and it says it right there. I think that's pretty fucking clear. I don't know how that didn't like sink in.
It happens, man.
But this
isn't the finished piece, by the way.
No, and that's the other thing that I wanted to mention is that I didn't see the painted up or did you have a finished version of it? Was it?
No, he didn't get it. He didn't get it done in time. But he's got it on pre-order. You can message Underland Cosmic or just message the store, and we can put the pre-order through.
Hell yeah!
Nice.
Thank you for making sure to point that out, man. And who else might we have missed on this? No, that's gonna be Ocular Rhombus. We're gonna be Kajiki. Cube Boy. We ended up missing Cube Boy on this. Now, what I find it funny about a couple of these artists that were in this show is like Tiddy. I remember even talking to you about Cube Boy toys back in like maybe 2-3 years ago. Both of us just being blown away by their work, and now you're just doing shows with them, man.
Yeah. He was in last year's one, and his piece that always stuck out to me was the Mossy Ewok, the ones where he's like also in carbonite, and they've got like the flocking and stuff on it. They were just nuts, and like he prices his stuff just ridiculously cheap as well for the amount of work that goes into his pieces. They are absolute steals every single time, and his card backs are just really, really clean, and he's a really funny dude as well. He's got that charisma and that presence where he can do those like work in progress videos and make it really entertaining and making really fucking good toys and actually showing how he made them and making that process even more fun, not just like interesting, but actually a bit of a ride, whilst doing almost like a snapshot of history around Regurgitated. So we did this video and it was just like, holy shit, dude. He's done a full production about these toys, about the band, about his love for the band as well. Like that really comes through. So yeah, he's a great dude. So he lives over in, is it Perth, AJ, in Western Australia?
Yeah, he's in Western Australia. The cool thing about this is that Regurgitated is obviously an Australian band. They're kind of contemporaries with Tism, so it makes this story even more interesting. They were huge in like the 90s, early 2000s, around the same time. And he's done, obviously, one of their big albums is called ... art. So that's the reference there on the backing card. It's ... art toys. And then the TV heads, you can watch his video and he'll explain it. The TV heads are from one of their famous film clips. But when he put this video up online, the band Regurgitator reshared it on their on their page as well. It's like the exact opposite of what Tism did to Poor Mate to Break.
Oh, that's so good.
See,
So
I guess.
Sorry, Crumbs. No, I was going to say, I think he's got some pre-orders up for these as well. So I know he did the ones at the Mint on Card show sold out, but I'm pretty sure he's got pre-order up, possibly making some more. If you're interested, definitely hit him up because, yeah,
he'll make more.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure they did do a post for it. I'm trying to make sure if I'm catching it, but yeah, you kind of nailed it, man. I'm going to make a very limited set. Boom, hit him up.
Yeah,
nice. I like that little whisper. Yeah. I don't know which one of you that was. I wasn't looking down, but just that little. Yeah, that was good.
Crazy. I've got one. I've got Vomits one. Oh, actually, yeah, do Dark Rainbows.
If anything, with the world's smallest bladder, I'm going to actually put you on full screen. You're going to talk all about that lovely Vomiting Droids piece.
Thanks, man. Vomiting Droids. The dog. Vomiting Droids. What is it? Total Resin Death on there. And I think this might have had a bit of a different name. My dog's going to keep scratching the door. Sorry. The timing's impeccable. So this one, this guy, you won't be able to see it in the light, but it does have the battery operated LED. Oh, you get a little bit of it. Turn some shit off. You can maybe see a little bit. Really quite insane the way he's kind of built this card. Put the little battery pack on the back. It's all wired in. This little string is supposed to be in the compartment. But like all the wiring going through the blister. Yeah, you kind of see it there. And then it's all pretty sure, yeah, it's glued onto the back of there, but also it is glow in the dark. So once the LEDs are actually on for a bit, and then you switch them off, he sort of sits there and glows, and he kind of glows like a white, but then the LEDs are purple. It's just a beautiful piece. Like as soon as he said he was going to make a carded piece for the show, I was like, well, I'm going to be buying that, and I just don't care. It is fucking insane. I don't know how many of these wires actually.
I was there. I was there when it was purchased, and your wife bought that for you.
Oh yeah, she did too. Thanks. Thank you, AJ. That you are the best, because oh my god, I would have been horrified if Lisa ever saw this. Lisa totally bought this for me as a thank you, and that's my beautiful wife. But yeah, really lucky to have that piece. I think the only carded Vomiting Droids piece out there. I could be wrong though, but I think that's his first card.
I think you're right, man. To be honest with you, I hadn't really ever thought about that, but I've never seen Vomiting put anything on a clamshell on a backer.
Yeah. So I don't want to speak, but I'm pretty sure it'd be, so they're much better photos of it popping. And I've got another one here that I don't think we've spoken about. Then we'll jump to Dark Rainbows, which is the Feigned piece, Return of the Living, which is really nice. I can actually pop this open. I haven't actually opened it. So he's got magnets affixing the piece to the backer as well. So there's really weird like chest burster sitcho going on. I actually know which 3PO figure this is, or if there's kind of a few random parts. But I think that's the best thing about Feigned is you can't quite place where some of his parts are coming from, or they're just kind of a bit sort of like warped, much like his like logo. And I love that, making it really hard to identify what the fuck is made. This is the back as well. But yeah, this is sick. I think this is my first. I was going to get the Feigned piece from last year, but someone from the public bought it. So I was like, dang. But yeah, obviously the backer would be printed, like hand printed, screen printed, whatever he does. And a little bit hard to see, but again, talking about that like pink and yellow combo, but then throwing it in with like the blue. It's just a beautiful card back. I love it. And yeah, Return of the Living. So I like that instead of like Return of the Dead or Return of the Living Dead. But yeah, sick piece.
Now, when you guys are doing a gallery show like that, would you say you typically try not to grab any pieces until everybody's kind of had their chance to grab some, or fuck it as it's coming in? If you want it, you're claiming.
No, I mean, for me, like I kind of have a rule that I don't buy stuff that comes into the store because otherwise I'd just be broke as fuck. Because I want one of everything. You know what I mean? So like I'm pretty good at sticking to it. Like every now and again I break the rule, but I'm pretty good at sticking to it. But yeah, for shows like that, like always the public gets the first crack at it. You know, because
for sure.
the artists have trusted us to send their stuff over and whatever else. You know,
definitely.
People want a chance to get it.
Yeah, and that's the kind of good thing when I sort of go in there, pack it all down at the end, and it's like, all right, I'm gonna take these guys with me. So that's been really cool. But I wish, this year I didn't have quite as much cash as I did last year. I think I went a bit all out last year and kind of went pretty hard. But yeah, this year was kind of like had to be a little bit more conservative. But there's pieces in there that I'm like, all right, I'm actually going to save up and run back. And that's the beautiful thing, that those pieces are just kind of around the corner, like 20-minute drive for me now. So it's really cool to have that luxury of the shop just being there in the gallery.
Especially, let's be honest, way down in Australia, that shipping can sometimes really blow, as we've all talked about a bajillion times over. So yeah, man. And honestly, I think that's even a nice part about you guys doing this show, is it does actually bring a lot of global work into that area for a couple of the other artists as well, who might want to be able to grab some pieces that normally they wouldn't be able to grab, or collectors who wouldn't be able to grab them generally.
Yeah.
So it just expands that scene.
No, that's right. I reckon. I'm just trying to think. I reckon we might be there. Just trying to think if there's anyone we missed.
Oh, there's a couple we missed. We're almost there. I can almost send you guys home. We got the Dark Rainbow set.
Sorry.
And the Dark Rainbow set is going to be in the 3-pack here. Now, were these actually probably closer to like 3.5, 4 inches? Like, I'm trying to figure out the scale on these dudes. 6 inches?
I'll show you.
No, I'd say around the 4-inch mark.
Fair. Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, there we go.
He gave me one of these on opening night. Thank you, Dark Rainbow, if you're still in the chat. I need to do a thank you post for people that sent little kind of goodies for me. But yeah, so this is, I don't know much about kaijus, but this is maybe one of the reaction versions. But yeah, a little bit smaller. So I'd say a Bosk.
Oh, shit.
Bosk. So they're just a little, probably like 3.75, like just under.
That's a fun size, man.
Yeah, they're really cool. Yeah, so they don't kind of have that big sort of bulky spikiness to them, and the wings are articulated and the head as well. But like Dark Rainbow's packaging is just another level.
Dark Rainbow doesn't fuck around, dude. Everything they do seems to always be top tier every time.
Yeah. And those boxes are like, I think they're printed and like laminated as well. So they got this like real gloss to them, like this real professional gloss. He was talking about there was actually going to be more kind of stuff going on with them, but this is sort of where he had to sort of pull it together and bring it into the store. But yeah, he had sort of even more grander plans. I just can't remember what they were around the packaging and stuff. But I was like, I think he was like, oh, they're not really finished. I'm like, what do you mean they're not really finished? They look like incredible. But yeah,
he probably wanted to put the plastic.
Yeah.
He did that. He does that with a lot of his stuff. And the piece he had last year was fully plastic encased.
That's what I was thinking.
That one.
Because they had just done that. Yeah. And that's the only thing I can think of, is that maybe the wrap hadn't been the way that they fully wanted it. But fuck, those figures turned out good, man. Like,
to be honest, I kind of like them without the plastic. It has kind of like an old school bootleg feel, you know, like
old school bootleg. And it even kind of reminds me of some of like those like Walmart like Bratz figures or anything that you see.
Exactly, like you need the little twist ties around the feet or something.
Yeah.
Nice. That fucking whisper. Yeah, nice. Every time just gets me, dude. I hope that, like, anyways. And then there was actually Ordinary Toys, man. I wanted to make sure we didn't miss Ordinary Toys, because Ordinary Toys hand draws all their fucking backers, dude.
Yeah, this is
real.
This is fucking crazy. So that's like a mixture of like, it'd obviously be like pencil, pen, textile, like all outline, all that shit. It is, that's all hand drawn. It is absolutely fucking amazing. And the way he's done the clam, the blister as well. Yeah, blister. I think it's kind of like these little sort of strips of sort of Velcro, but it's kind of like weird type of sort of plastic popping. It just kind of almost adds to the figure. And then yeah, the whole design is really, really cool. It's got little PVC cape there, and yeah, it's just so sick. And the hand with the fucking needle spike tubing. Pretty sure that pops under UV as well. The paint, the eyes, and the hand, the spear hand. But yeah, all hand drawn. Even when he does like a drop, I think he does like, so if he's doing like 6 figures, he'll hand draw 6, header cards or something. And the header cards were like these huge. I don't have access to them, but I've got them somewhere. And yeah, draws them all individually. Oh, cool. What was that, Crumbs? Is that him? The Doom Patrol thing.
Yeah, I'm just creeping through their page now, trying to find more of that, because this is what I find is so just absolutely fucking stupid, man.
Yeah.
It's like, really, dude? Like, maybe it's like zen-inducing for you, but holy shit, that seems maddening.
Yeah, man.
And another one that just kind of came out in the past maybe year and a half, and just every time just killing it.
Yeah, just cranks out gold.
Fuck, man. I like, a lot of you guys really did pave the way to kind of get rid of a lot of the learning curve. Like, right? Like, I mean, the resin isn't ever easy, but being able to know exactly like what brand of smooth on to grab, having access to like all the mold tutorials, having access, like a lot of you guys did do the groundwork. I know Pocket's pieces didn't end up making it there, but I still wanted to give a quick little shout out to these, because some of these were freaking absolutely gorgeous, man, including the brickwork one. But unfortunately, they're getting lost up in the mail.
Yeah. He had an absolute nightmare over time with shipping or what was going on. So I think that we could still expect a little resin brick backer to arrive randomly at some point in the next 30 to 60 years. But yeah, he struggled with like things getting out of the States or just getting returned, or yeah, and he put a lot of work into that as well. So it was a real kick in the balls that it just never. It was kind of one of the ones you just like hoping, at least something might still arrive and we can still just kind of at least say, hey, we received it, but I'm not sure if this stuff's ever gonna appear on our end. But I think it was mainly just the backers. I don't think he'd actually had figures in there. I'm not sure though.
Right.
But this would have been fucking crazy. I don't know if I've seen this post.
Fair. Admittedly, maybe I just creeped too much.
No. It's a good call. Thanks for your showcase, no Crumbs, because yeah, I think I completely missed this.
See, now, if anything, this was a great shot, dude.
Yeah.
And
that took a little while to make sure everyone was accounted for. So I think the only people that aren't in that is just Mellow Toys, because I think her pieces came just after I'd made it, and yeah, I reckon we covered everyone.
I think we ended up somehow catching everybody.
Yeah.
Hell yeah! Look at us go.
Woo!
Right. Now that part's over. Do you guys have anything you would like to kind of discuss about the show? The lovely mint on card show you've just done. Anything you want to get out about drops coming up? Anything you've got with toys you've got coming out?
Hey, Jay, I'll hand it over to you if you want.
I mean, it's a privilege to put on a show like this. Being all the way over here in Australia, people have to actually send their stuff, and we've only ever had one thing go missing, which is the one Sam was just talking about, which is really great. And I know shipping sucks as well. It's actually not too bad going our way back out, but it's terrible coming from that side of the world over to us. So yeah, like we super appreciate everyone that puts their trust in us, that we're gonna put on a good show, display the toys and market it and all that kind of stuff. And I'm looking forward to doing it again next year. I mean, it's at least double the size of what we did last year, right?
Oh yeah. Easy.
Yeah. And we definitely can't double it again next year, but but if we can get the same level of intensity and the quality of the work and stuff like that and keep this going, it's going to be great. We have this has really become one of our flagship shows for the year. It's this one and the Monster A Go-Go, which is the soft vinyl show. Those are kind of like the two big international shows we have, and it's so much fun putting these ones on, and I'm grateful for Sam stepping up and helping out, reaching out to all the artists and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, because like my toys are like soft vinyl stuff, so I can do that liaising with those artists because I know that scene. But this scene's a little bit outside of what I do. So honestly, really, truly, without Tiddy, this would be an impossible task.
Thanks, man. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just like massive thanks to all the artists for sending stuff over. Thanks for people like reaching out and either sort of, wanting to participate in the show. Always, if there's when we have the next one, just reach out if you want to be part of it, hit me up. And then also, yeah, all the guys at the shop as well, just for like there is that sort of side of it of putting the things online and keeping track of that, and yeah, sending stuff out. That's a big part of it. But yeah, just a big thanks to everyone involved and all the artists. And yeah, it's really good. Like sort of AJ said, we kind of know what at capacity looks like now. So yeah, we probably couldn't double it next year, but yeah, I'm more than happy to have artists back that were this year, that was last year. Also appreciate artists that just kind of, they were invited and just couldn't sort of make it, and that's cool. And thanks for reaching out and letting us know as well, because that's also important. If someone sort of drops out, we can hopefully slot someone else in there if there are people kind of wanting to join or anything like that. So yeah, I just appreciate everyone's kind of good communication and smooth show. Everyone getting their work sent out on time as well. That was fucking awesome. Like to see just get messages from AJ, and thanks to AJ for doing all the legwork up and down to the post office to pick up all this stuff, because there was just boxes and boxes and boxes. So, and thanks to everyone for packing their work really well. I think there was only one figure that had just a minor thing that just needed an adjustment. So yeah, thanks for taking that care when sending it over. And yeah, sorry that the postage sucks.
I'm going to put both of you on the spot for one last one here. How much would you say that running a show typically costs, and how much time would you say running a show typically costs?
It's kind of the same question, to be honest, man, because time it costs money, right? Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much it costs. That's kind of, yeah. I mean, but it's a lot. It's a lot of hours. Yeah. Like it's a lot of hours, and really like, yeah, I mean, you've got to do all the communication with the artists leading up to it. You've got to put the posters together. You've got to do the social media posting to promote it. You've got to print off actual physical flyers to promote it. Then you've got to physically get the pieces in the boxes, transport them to the store, put them all away, then communicate back to the artists that they've all come in. You've got to photograph each and every one of the pieces to put them up online. And then you've got to physically set up the show. You've got to hang every single thing up. You've got to adjust the lights up there. And then you've got to get ready for opening night. The list goes on, man. Like it's so much work. Yeah. And at the same time that we're doing this, we're trying to run that retail store space as well. You know what I mean? So yeah. But like, I'm not blowing smoke up his ass, I promise. But honestly, Sam did so much of it this year. He took all the photos. Like, he even made the little price tags this year that go on the wall next to the pieces in the gallery. Like, yeah. So, it took a lot of pressure off me this year.
Yeah. Oh no, I think yeah, let's blow smoke each way. But like I think there's another side to it that sort of goes into. But I don't kind of get to see
smoke blowing circles.
But yeah, it is. It's kind of much to sort of count it all up. But it's also it's really fun. Like when it's fun. Start to get a bit sort of stressed out and be kind of like, fuck, man, this is a lot. I just like actually remember what I'm doing and kind of be like, this is fucking fun, man. Like this is something that's good to be kind of, it's that sort of good stress and that good energy that goes into it, but it's never kind of like that overwhelming dread. Like definitely you get nervous about some parts of it, especially when you hear people sending over something that's going to be worth a lot of money, or something that's quite intricate, and you're like, holy shit, that hope it gets through the post and it's all good. Hopefully display it, I don't fucking drop it or anything like that. But yeah, it's a really fun experience as long as you.
And there's something really special about, especially 3D art, seeing it in person. And like you said before, man, like getting this stuff over to this side of the world is like rare. Like this hasn't happened before. We've done this show, and so exposing this to a whole bunch of people and getting to explain to them like what's going on and what this bootleg toy scene's all about, and like if they don't get a piece, like the bear thing, explaining that to them, and then seeing how they react to it, like, oh, that's awesome. Like, yeah, it's cool. That's part of the reason to do it for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a really good point you bring up there, man. That the community involvement portion, right?
Yeah.
I get down with that, man. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you gentlemen in here. I have no idea what the plan is for the rest of the evening, but I'm going to boot you out of here, Crumb style. AJ, it's been a pleasure. I absolutely appreciate you coming in, homie. Boom. Tiddy, always a pleasure, my dude. Dudes, not a clue what we've got planned for the rest of the evening here, but we're going to do a little bit of share screen probably, and then I'm going to let you all you yahoos go home. Boom, boom, boom. Huge thank you to Tiddy and Weird Kid Club. Going to find my own brain and my tongue here. Boom. Now, we're going to do a quick little share screen, only because I wanted to show off a couple really fast of Earth to Kentucky. They ended up doing the Kaiju show. If anybody ended up not catching that, head on over to Earth to Kentucky and make sure you check that out. Also, before I get carried away here, head on over to the Mint on Card page, but also This Is Not a Toy Store. If you haven't been over to their Instagram, beautifully laid out shop, boom. You can actually sort everything by either the artist, or if we scroll down, they even happen to have shows like the Mint on Card. Look at that. And the Grinklet show. Isn't that just absolutely beautiful? And here I'm saying share screen and I didn't even pull shit up. This is why it's usually a two-man duo. I don't know how B was doing it for so long. So this is what I was talking about here. This is actually This Is Not a Toy Store page. This is the Mint on Card show. Everything on the left-hand side though. And boom, over on their home, beautifully laid out. If you guys didn't already see, the 3 original doodles of This Is Not a Toy Store have actually made some vinyls as well. Please head over there and check those out. Then that page I was talking about a second ago when I didn't have my share screen on was going to be the Earth to Kentucky show where toys, all monsters. And otherwise, some of the news going down in the scene right now. We've got the Rokoma shoe is going to be doing a drop. I believe it's on the 30th. Let's double check here real quick. Boom, August 30th, 8 p.m. Pacific. Rokoma shoe doing a big old drop. You've got LM9 with the C is for Creature coming up soon. So everybody keep your eyes peeled for that. October 16th, save the date. Also, speaking of LM9, if you guys didn't end up catching it, LM9 was actually in town with Angry Beast somewhat recently, and they were actually over at this Silver Snail event over by Fan Expo that was happening, and I was fortunate enough to actually join LM9 and Drea Zays out at Fan Expo. But I will point out, because this leads into the other post, if you look over here, you see a Crumbs that looks a little bit less smiley and stoked than normal. There was probably almost like 500,000 people in this building, and a lot of folks don't realize this about Crumbs, but as much as I'm all smiles and friendly and fun on here, with narcolepsy, I do have to actually often really gauge my emotions and make sure that I don't get too excited, because I am going to have a narcoleptic episode if I get too excited. So normally I'm going to look a little bit more just bummed and just, chilling around. But this brought me over to a post I saw on Yucko Toys page that I feel like, even look at the comments, more and more of us can actually relate to. So if you actually look at this was Yucko talking about some mental health awareness actually going on in the scene, that they personally are taking a little break right now from casting resin. And if you look through these comments and some of the artists who are also kind of saying like, dude, we feel that all the times, there's some big names in here, individuals that we see all throughout this. And I just kind of want to remind everybody that, again, the pressures that we're putting on ourselves are often pressures we're putting on ourselves. You do not need to be doing anything crazy or extreme or burning yourself out for something like toys. Toys are a lot of fun. Yes, it is art, but honestly, guys, nobody should be burning themselves out. So that's just something I wanted to make sure we just kind of took a little look at. Make sure that you're doing some self-love, showing some patience, showing some grace to yourselves. Otherwise, we're going to stop sharing there. And one of the last things I'm going to show you guys this evening is actually going to be a little piece that I personally am really stoked on, because when I met Dre and LM9, actually, and Dre tossed a couple of these my way, and I thought these were fucking cool as hell, because I love the fact that you can definitely see, like, it's like looking at Army Men, right? You get to see like all the little molds, the transfers over that these have gone through. But there's also LM9. This is where sometimes you guys casting, you don't really think about things. My brain will always apply significance to things it probably doesn't need to. LM9 have been doing some casting with Angry Beast and ended up coming over and hanging out at Fan Expo, and Drea Zays and I were hanging out. And at the end of our hangouts, they were like, hey guys, I've got some toys here. Would you like some resin? And it just so happened that one of the ones they had was this Hogan head. And personally, the moment I saw it, all I could think of was couple brothers. And if I'm being totally honest with you guys, I really did not feel like going to Fan Expo that day. The idea of seeing that many people and one tiny little place, the idea of even actually leaving my house was not something I was really looking forward to. I was kind of really dreading it. And I was very, very, very grateful that LM9 was willing to go down over to Fan Expo with me. And I was incredibly grateful that Dre Azade reached out saying that they were actually going to be heading over to Toronto as well. And we're going to be joining us over there. And when we were all done with the toy shit, and I'm looking at this fucking Hulk Hogan head, and all I could think is the thing I get to take home after Fan Expo is remembering that I got to spend it with my brothers, a couple of really good fucking homies at Fan Expo. That's the shit that matters. And otherwise, it's been an absolute pleasure with all you guys. The mint on card was absolutely beautiful. I wish that I could have actually gone and seen it in person because, as Weird Kid Club actually said, sometimes seeing these 3D pieces in person is really the only way that you can experience them. And I hope that we all get a chance to go to more and more art shows like this and be able to actually experience these things. And a huge shout out to those individuals. One, for having This Is Not a Toy Store, because any of those brick and mortars are a huge, huge impact to the community, both locally and globally. And a huge thank you for Tiddy Bean for reaching out to all those artists and putting together a night like this, because there's nothing better than a bunch of us being able to sit here and look at some fucking rad art that we wouldn't have otherwise seen. Love you guys.